Welcome to Grey Cup 80 on CBC. 4 years in a row, the Edmonton Eskimos. 3 years in a row with quarterback Warren Moon, heir apparent to Tom Wilkinson, signed 10 one-year contracts. Could be his biggest game since the Rose Bowl of '78. 3 years in a row, slotback Tom Scott, an all-pro with the Eskimos as he was with Winnipeg. A total team man with impressive statistics for 1980. Over 1,200 total yards, 17 yards per catch, 13 touchdowns. Already with 3 Grey Cup rings, Dan Kepley, the blitzing middle linebacker, the #1 defensive star of the league in '77, a fullback in high school, switched to linebacker at East Carolina University. He's been one of the best since. 7-year veteran Dave Fennell, defensive tackle, another award winner, player of the game in the 1978 Grey Cup. Played Alberta junior football before accepting a scholarship at the University of North Dakota. 6'4", 249 pounds. They call him Dr. Death. The Hamilton Tiger Cats and young quarterback Dave Marler. Virtually his first year after much injury time as a rookie. He's matured, gained the confidence of his teammates and the respect of the opposition. Wingback Leif Patterson, 3rd year with the Tiger Cats. The most outstanding Eastern Conference Canadian of '79. Injured early this season, he's back and strong as ever. The Tiger Cats found another one, tough running back Obie Graves. Give him the inch, he takes the mile. He broke open last week's Eastern Final against the Montreal Alouettes. Last in the alphabet, first in the hearts of Hamilton fans, Ben Zambiazzi, linebacker, rookie of the 1978 Eastern Conference. 1 year ago, the most outstanding defensive player in the CFL.
Thank you, Don. You look now at the head coach of the Edmonton Eskimos, Hugh Campbell. Hughie, you have in the past thrown in the odd new wrinkle for a Grey Cup game. Should we look for any of that today?
Well, we're going to try to do the things we've done all year. I know that's an old cliche, but that's what we believe in. We have a fairly good football team, but the test we're up against today is kind of awesome. Winning in the East is very tough for a Western team come Grey Cup time.
Hughie, what about their offense gives you most concern?
Well, I think the fact that they have Gord Patterson back in the lineup has really made all their receivers blossom out. They had other good receivers, but with him in there, it means you can't concentrate on any one person. So I think that's the change that in their lineup lately that has really helped them the most.
Hughie, defensively, no club blitzes more than the Edmonton Eskimos. You're going against a fairly inexperienced quarterback today. Would you try to come on him just as much as, or maybe even more than others?
About our normal amount. We don't blitz quite as much as we're known for. Somehow, you know, your reputation precedes you a little bit. We have a team that will blitz in any portion of the field, and I think that's the thing that's unique about us. We're not always blitzing from strength. Sometimes we'll blitz from a weakness or whatever.
Hughie, I was with you last year just before the game. I wished you good luck then, and it certainly proved eventful for you. I wish you the same good luck today.
Thanks a lot, Pat. I hope that the luck is equal and that the game is a well-played game by both teams.
Well, the pregame parties, the parades, the calculating of the odds are all things of the past. Now the reason for all this madness is at hand. So let's play football. Dave Cutler with the kickoff, and it will go deep to Obie Graves at his 2-yard line. He bobbles the ball. And Graves, with trouble getting possession, finally does retain it at the 16-yard line after a 62-yard kickoff by David Cutler, and that's where the Hamilton Ticats will begin.
Well, maybe they're just a little too hyper, Frank. Obie Graves, the man who got them to this point with that big run in the Eastern Final, had an opportunity for the kickoff, but wasn't able to get a good return, and now the Hamilton Tiger Cats, with what has been a sputtering offense, have to take over from their own 16.
It will be Dave Marler, the sophomore from Mississippi State at quarterback, and quickly he tosses to Graves. Graves gets a full head of steam up and then gets to the 21-yard line before he's upended by Jones and also Butler. 24 and 28 making the stop for the Edmonton Eskimos. The gain will be close to 5. This is the way the Ticats will line up offensively. It is Marler at quarterback, Obie Graves number 3, and John McCorkindale number 20 are the running backs. Marler keeps it himself, He'll be short of the first down as he got to the 25, but not much further. Dan Kepley and Dale Potter were there to stop the Hamilton quarterback.
Take a look at Dan Kepley, the middle linebacker of the Edmonton Eskimos. A close-up shot at him. He'll drop off, but his tremendous reaction up is what counts. When Marler didn't see anybody open, he thought he had the room, but look at this quick reaction up. He stops the quarterback by about a yard.
Well, the Ticats not in any mood to gamble at their point in the field. On 3rd and 1, Bernie Ruoff will be punting to Greg Butler and to Emilio Frietta. 37-28, a wait at the Edmonton 40-yard line. Wobbly end-over-end punt that Butler moves up to his 53 to take, and he is down immediately. Ben Zambiazzi was there to make the tackle after the 34-yard punt by Ruoff. Only a 1-yard return, but the Eskimos have excellent field position for their first possession of this 1980 Grey Cup final.
They say that if Hamilton's going to win, it'll come from their defensive team. There's nobody that plays better on that unit than Zambiazzi, and what a job on specialty units as he gets the man down right where he caught the ball.
All right, does Warren Moon, who threw 25 touchdown passes, come out bombing right away? Or will we see Jim Germany and Neil Lumsden? This is Lumsden, first of all, as he crosses midfield and gets in to the Hamilton 53-yard line. He'll have a gain of 3 or 4.
Pat, appropriate question about running or throwing the football, but I don't think you're going to see all that much running by these Eskimos. They really don't make any pretense of trying to establish a running game in order to go to the air. They want to throw it right from the word go.
Their total yardage, Frank, about 35% of it's come on the ground, so that you know that they collect a lot of it going that aerial route.
It is 2nd and 6 yards to go for the first down. Edmonton, and Moon will put it up. Throws. Brian Kelly makes the catch, has the ball at the 46-yard line. That'll be a first down as David Shaw was providing the defensive coverage, number 37.
Kelly, of course, returning to the Edmonton lineup, a very key part of that offensive receiving core. He's been out since the second Winnipeg game throughout the year, and Warren Moon finds him wide open for the first down of this football game.
Brian Kelly had 48 receptions during the regular campaign, despite missing the last 3 games of the season. Moon again to Kelly, and Kelly has another first down into the 33-yard line. Consecutive first down completions. Warren Moon to Brian Kelly as Lou Clare and David Shaw were there to make the stop.
And the key to this early drive is the fact that the Hamilton Tiger Cats got bad field position off that fumbled kickoff. Edmonton Eskimos now not having to make a long drive to get into score. Hamilton traditionally likes to just sit back, try to force you into errors, give up a few first downs, but make you eventually cough it up. But here, the Eskimos took over at midfield, and they're in scoring position right now.
Kelly is flanked to the bottom of your screen. Danny Buggs to the top. The give is inside to Neil Lumsden, who gets to the 29-yard line for an advance of 4 yards before Tony Petruccio, playing his first game as a Hamilton Ticat, number 62, makes the stop for Hamilton. So it'll bring up a 2nd and 6, another passing down for Warren Moon, as the Eskimos have converted on both previous occasions. Let's see what Moon selects this time. Moon under pressure delivers a fine catch by Brian Fryer, and through his second effort he gets the first down inside the 20-yard line to the 18 before Jerry Anderson, number 17, makes the tackle for Hamilton.
Great effort there by Petruccio, number 62, to attempt to put some pressure on quarterback Warren Moon. He almost gets to him right off the bat.
Moon is 3 for 3 in the passing, good for 31 yards. He has a first down at the Hamilton 18-yard line. Going to the end zone, no good. Looking for Brian Fryer. Leroy Paul, number 27, Jerry Anderson, number 17, both back as Moon put it up looking for the major score. It was over the head of Brian Fryer.
Hugh Campbell and the Edmonton Eskimos on the bench are really upset. They've been yelling at the officials. They don't feel that the Ticats are giving them a yard at the line of scrimmage, and they've been yelling ever since they got possession of the ball that they want the Ticats to back off that yard.
Thank you, Don Whitman. 6 plays ago, the Edmonton Eskimos had the ball at their 53. They now have 2nd and 10 at the Hamilton 18. Moon again to the end zone. No good. Looking for Tommy Scott.
Great coverage by Dave Shaw following Scott into the end zone. Randy Graham also came over to help out. Moon had the time because they were able to knock down Wayne Smith, and he had all the time as he rolled to the left. But good coverage by the Hamilton secondary.
And so on 3rd and 10, the Eskimos now have a choice. Do they go for the 3 points with Dave Cutler? And you've got to anticipate they will. Tom Wilkinson will hold. Bob Howes, of course, is the center. And the kick will come from just outside the 25-yard line. It is good. With 9 minutes and 44 seconds left in the opening quarter, the Eskimos have jumped out in front 3-0. Grey Cup 80 resumes in a moment. The question mark of this 1980 Grey Cup is, can the Hamilton Ticats score enough points to win? They had one opportunity offensively. They were not able to move the ball. They now start from their 35-yard line. Marler's pass is complete for the first down of the Ticat Grey Cup appearance by Marco Sincar at the 48-yard line.
That's the kind of action I'd like to look forward to, Frank. A little roll by Dave Marler, getting rid of the ball pretty quickly. Don't allow that big Edmonton rush to come at him cleanly. Sincar with a little bend out to the sideline, and they are able to move the sticks.
The ball is spotted at the 49-yard line, where it is a first down, Hamilton, and Marler threw that ball with authority. He's got Holland flanked to the bottom of your screen. Sincar to the top, but gives to Obie Graves. He was hit at the line of scrimmage, and then through second effort got to about the 54-yard line. Tom Towns made contact initially. That knocked him off balance, but Graves was still able to pick up about 5 yards.
If we can start this up now, you'll see Towns coming in at the top of your screen. He's a right linebacker on the high side. Stop it right there. You'll see Towns coming right up the middle there. Towns had come on a blitzing situation down to the inside, Kepley covering him to the outside. However, Towns did not make the stop behind the line of scrimmage.
On 2nd and 5, Marler wants to put it up, does down the middle, but it's over the head of the intended receiver. And Gordy Patterson was covered by Dan Kepley. So on 3rd and 5, Bernie Ruoff and the punting unit will be back out onto the field.
Let's see if we can take a look at Gordy Patterson. He went up high, but the ball was overthrown. Good protection afforded to Dave Marler. If his offensive line can give him that kind of an opportunity to spot a receiver, Hamilton will be seen yet to get into scoring position.
Emilio Frietta, 37. Greg Butler, 28. Back awaiting this punt from Bernie Ruoff, who stands inside the Hamilton 40-yard line. Good high twisting spiral. Butler awaits at his 13-yard line. And again, the downfield coverage by the Ticats was excellent. Jerry Anderson was first there to make the stop. A 43-yard punt, just a 4-yard return, and this time the Eskimos will start deep in their own territory.
John Payne looking over his troops. He's got to be pretty happy with those specialty teams. Sam Biazzi and Anderson doing just an outstanding job. The injured man that we're looking at is Jack Blair, obviously shaken up in the collisions that took place, but now the Eskimos deep in their own end. Moon, of course, isn't afraid to throw from that spot, Frank.
Absolutely not. They'll throw it from anywhere, Mike. Hamilton's done an excellent job, though, so far on those specialty teams. And
well, you know, we've made the point before that you can often measure a team's attitude coming into the game by how they play on those specialty units. If that's so, then Hamilton has to be high as a kite at this point.
Well, there isn't any question the Hamilton Tiger Cats came into this football thinking that they're going to have to play absolutely the best football that they can to have any chance against the heavily favored Eskimos.
You know, I was impressed, too, with the way that the Eskimos took over at midfield, and yet Hamilton gave up a couple of first downs, but stopped them right in around the 20-yard line. Just wouldn't give up any more. There was excellent coverage with that secondary, even though Edmonton has such a fine unit of receivers.
I think the one thing they have done really well so far, Mike, is protect their young passer, Marlar. He's going to have to get a lot of time to throw that football because he doesn't have the type of receiving core the Edmonton Eskimos do.
And all the more incredible that Marlar is in a game like this today, because Dave Marlar is a man who had only 1 year of college football as a quarterback, his second year as a pro, and yet here he is, the biggest game of Canadian professional football. If he's given a little bit of time early to get confidence, he can establish something in the aerial game too.
Blair looks like he's going to be all right now, walking off the field under his own steam, essentially.
Jack Blair, one of the many fine Canadians on that Hamilton squad, played junior football, as a matter of fact, in the Hamilton area. And it's nice to see the grads of the junior Canadian leagues come to the pros and perform so capably as Jack Blair has done for the last number of years. All right, the Eskimos start from their 16-yard line. This is Jim Germany with his first carry of the ball game, and that swarming Hamilton defense nails him after about a gain of a yard. Lyle Woznezensky, who has meant so much to that Hamilton defensive unit, number 76, and the newcomer Tony Petruccio, 62, along with Wayne Smith in to help out.
Let's take a look at that line play that you're describing, Pat. They just didn't give a whole lot of room for Jim Germany to find a hole. They just closed it down very quickly, not allowing any alleys.
The gain was a yard. It is 2nd and 9. The ball is at the 17-yard line. And again, the give is to Germany, and again, the Ticats come up tight. Tony Petruccio again on the stop for the Ticats, and now they'll get the ball back in pretty decent field position.
Petruccio doing just an excellent job against veteran center Bobby Howes, number 53. He gets rid of the offensive center of the Edmonton Eskimos very quickly. You'll see Petruccio, number 62, making the stop right at the line of scrimmage. And Mike, I'm a little bit surprised the Eskimos running 2 plays in a row.
I'll tell you, Germany didn't impress me as really coming up and hitting that line. He's been somewhat disgruntled this week, complaining he doesn't get the ball enough. He didn't come up hitting the way he normally does.
Hank Olisic standing inside his 5 on this 3rd down punt. An end-over-end ball that Obie Graves misjudged. It went over his head. He's got it at the 37. And again, with some determined effort, Obie Graves gets to the 47-yard line. Leo Blanchard was there to make the stop after the 7-yard return on the 51-yard punt. Grey Cup 80 from Toronto returns in a moment. Well, we've got the first big break of the ball game. The Hamilton Ticats have been assessed a penalty for contacting the kicker. They get the 10-yard penalty. The first down moves the ball out to their 28-yard line, and that's where the Eskimos will retain possession.
Phil Colwell, the culprit on that penalty.
Moon quickly throws for Tommy Scott inside, but the hit was made by Harold Woods, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 10 for the Eskimos, who look a little bit tentative at this moment, gentlemen.
I don't think there's any question about that, Pat. Scotty looks like he's a little hurt there after that ball being thrown behind him. Harold Woods got a piece of him. But you're right, Warren Moon looks like he's just a little bit panicking in there.
And in terms of Scott being hurt, that brings up a point. We were talking with some of the other players who have been in town for the Grey Cup, Pat. They're from the West. Ronnie Lancaster, of course, having coached there the last couple of years. The one secondary that is the most intimidating in the league, they say, is that of the Hamilton Tiger Cats. They are very aggressive, and they will really hit. You saw it with Harold Woods and Tommy Scott in that last play.
You'll also see it from Jerry Anderson. Let's go down to Bill Stevenson.
All right, linebacker Jack Blair, who's running up and down in front of the bench, has twisted his right knee. It is not serious, according to the doctor, but as you can see, probably he's having a little trouble running and is not sure if he can go back in or not. They have wrapped it very tightly. Blair wasn't hit. It was on a seam in the artificial turf, as a matter of fact, which is used for the outfield fence during the baseball season. That's injured a couple of players. Marlar, as example, earlier this season. Now Blair having his problems. Pat?
Stu Lang is in the ball game. Tommy Scott is out. As Warren Moon on 2nd and 10 puts it up, the catch is made by Brian Pryor. He's got the first down at the 42-yard line.
Working against Leroy Paul, number 27, the left corner for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. And an excellent throw by Warren. Maybe settled down just a little bit from a few moments ago. Pryor has been a very significant receiver for the Eskimos in the last half of the season. They, of course, had lost Kelly and Waddell Smith during that course of the year.
The Eskimos have 4 first downs through the air, none on the ground. As Moon puts it up, Scott makes the catch, turns inside, and will be about a yard of a first down. Carl Cornell and Randy Graham, 55 and 14, were there to haul him down for the Ticats.
Sorry, Pat, go ahead.
I was just going to say the ball is just outside the 50-yard line and leaves them about a yard and a half short.
Talking about how much they like to put it in the air, Frank, you mentioned that point earlier. There's another example. They have so many people they can threaten with. Kelly was deeper into the sideline. They came to Scott short because they know they can always get 6, 7, or 8 and leave themselves in a favorable position like this, second and short.
Short yardage offense for the Eskimos right now as Moon keeps it himself and struggles forward very close to midfield. He will have the first down for the Eskimos as they continue this march, which was certainly aided by the contact in the kicker penalty against Phil Caldwell.
You know, in addition to how costly those penalties can be, there's always a shift in your attitude as the game goes. Things will often affect it. There's nothing worse to a defensive unit than having a team in a punting position and then give them new life by a penalty such as that.
Absolutely. The ball at midfield on a first down for the Eskimos. Moon going deep. Wide open is Danny Buggs. He's got it and is down at the 1-yard line. Danny Buggs got in behind the coverage of Leroy Paul for the biggest play of the ball game, a 53-yard strike from Warren Moon.
A great pickup by offensive guard Ted Million, number 56, as we'll see Carl Cornell coming in there on a blitz. Obviously man-to-man coverage. Stop it right there. You'll see Cornell, number 55, starting to shoot. Moon draws up, finds his man, covered man-to-man. Buggs behind him, goes all the way down to the 1-yard line of the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
You know, I was amazed at how Buggs just seemed to pull away from his coverage, though, Frank. Fantastic speed.
Danny Buggs, the former wide receiver of the Washington Redskins, has given the Eskimos a first and touchdown to go from the 1-yard line. The give is to Jim Germany. Touchdown, Edmonton.
That's a look at it, just coming over that left side. Hamilton tried to jam it up, but Germany, with that little lunge at the last, took it in.
84 yards that drive. It started back on the Edmonton 16-yard line. 9 plays later, Jim Germany, the man you see on your screen right now, takes it in for the first touchdown of the 1980 Grey Cup game. Dave Cutler's point after is on its way. It is good. And with 4 minutes and 6 seconds left in the opening quarter, the Eskimos are out in front 10-0.
Let's take a look along the line for that short yardage. You saw the good takeoff by Bill Stevenson and others. It was in behind his big block that Germany came to find the pay dirt. That's a look at Germany now. Maybe a little happier than he had been on Wednesday and Thursday when he was talking about not getting the ball often enough, Frank.
But you know, gentlemen, you were talking about the penalty situation. Edmonton, the least penalized team in the Canadian Football League. Hamilton, the most. And maybe there's a little bit of justice coming through.
Well, it was certainly that penalty that was the key. Without that, Hamilton would have had possession about their own 48. Instead, you had the opportunity for Edmonton to put together an 84-yard drive.
Pat, this is not necessarily a prediction, but don't discount the fact that Edmonton could short kick this ball. Even though they're ahead 10-0 in this football game, they don't hesitate to gamble once in a while.
We'll watch for it, Frank.
That's my last prediction.
Obie Graves has it at the 15 to the 20. And gets caught up in the traffic as he dives through to the 30-yard line. And let's go to Don Whitman.
Well, Jim Germany is the man who scored that touchdown. You brought the ball off with you, Jim. Is that going to be a souvenir?
No, I was just so excited. I just brought it off with me. I forgot to just turn it in right there.
Great play by Danny Buggs that set it up.
Yes, it was. It was a great catch. We had some pretty good blocking at the point of attack, and I jumped for it, and I realized at the time the hole was opening up, I didn't need to do it. So I was caught in the pile, and when I came down on my feet, I just lunged in.
Okay,
but
Jim.
it was great blocking on the hole.
Thank you. Let's go back up to Pat and Mike and Frank.
Thank you, Don. The give is to Obie Graves, and now that Edmonton defensive unit getting a little tougher as Dan Kepley, the outstanding defensive player of 1980, was there to make the stop after a gain of only 2.
I'll tell you, you're going to see the maneuverability of Dan Kepley and why he's the outstanding defensive football player in this country. Number 42, he reads it extremely well, but Mike, his defensive line really keep that offense off of him.
Oh, I think that's the key, Frank. He's free to roam, and boy, he's so quick he can really play that position well.
Graves has 12 yards on 3 carries so far. As Dave Marler rolls out of there, he'll keep it himself. And he'll be very close to the first down and appears to have it as he's over the 40 at about the 41. Kepley moved across to make the stop.
You know, one thing the Edmonton Eskimos do not do is make the same mistakes very often, more than once. But if you watch this, we start it up now, you'll see David Boone, number 64. Stop it right there. He's the defensive end on that side, and you'll see him caught to the inside. He's now been caught twice in this football game, allowing Marler, who's an excellent runner with that football, to get around to the outside. That's the one thing that can hurt him defensively.
Hamilton with a first down from their own 41-yard line. 2.5 minutes left in the opening quarter. The give again is to Graves. Graves maintains his balance, has a first down, and bursts across midfield into the Edmonton 53-yard line.
It's not often you escape the clutches of Dr. Death. Dave Fennell, number 65. Obie Graves was wrapped up around the ankles by Fennell, but he managed with his great leg drive to break the tackle and spurt up to about the 52 or 3-yard line of the Eskimos.
That was a 16-yard gain. It is first down, Hamilton. Over the middle, it is complete to Gord Patterson at the 40-yard line. Another Hamilton first down before Tommy Towns was there to make the stop.
And Frank, the kind of play I think the Hamilton Tiger Cats have to come with if they're going to have success, because the Eskimos shoot their linebackers. They play them up so tight. They're tough to run against. You get your receivers into that middle area where the linebackers normally have to drop off, and you'll hold those linebackers back a bit.
They're very similar to the type of thing the Edmonton Eskimos like doing themselves. As a matter of fact, Moon tried to hit Scott on a very similar type of play. You see John McCarkendale, the fullback for the Hamilton Tiger Cats, hurt on the play as he came out to the right side trying to protect his quarterback.
Well, as we take a look at John McCorkendale being attended to down on the field, it's impressive to see Dave Marler, really a young fellow who does not have that much experience guiding these Hamilton Ticats from the quarterback position. He was a final year starter at Mississippi State, the same school, of course, that produced the all-time greatest CFL star, Jackie Parker. He didn't get to play that much last year. He has been injured some of this season, but Marler holds the key to whatever success the Ticats are going to enjoy this afternoon.
He's huddling now with backup quarterback Tom Rosance and head coach John Payne. And gentlemen, I think so far from what I've seen of the Ticats offensively, I like it because they're not trying to set up and take a lot of time to get rid of that ball. It's strictly a short passing game. They know the Eskimos have a good pass rush. They're trying to prevent them from getting to him.
Well, there's a look at the man who obviously is the #1 quarterback at Edmonton, having replaced Tom Wilkinson, who's been his tutor. But Warren Moon had a sensational year in 1980, threw 25 touchdown passes, and is considered by most as at least the second best quarterback in the CFL, behind the winner in 1980 of the Outstanding Player Award, Dieter Brock. Let's go to Don Whitman.
Well, Brian Kelly was a doubtful starter all week. Brian, you made a couple of early catches. How's that ankle?
It's holding up real fine.
Brian, are you surprised to be back in this game? Many people didn't think you'd be able to play again this season.
No, I'm not surprised. We thought I might be able to come back, and fortunately I have been able to.
Eskimo fans are certainly glad you're able to.
Thank you.
Well, you know, really, the Ticats have been impressive offensively, much more so than many had forecast. And I think, gentlemen, it's safe to say that the success on first down has certainly aided them. On 6 first down plays, they've garnered 57 yards, which has really helped their cause. Take a look at McCorkendale, who is obviously shaken up. Hopefully, they'll be able to get back into this ball game. Phil Caldwell is in there right now replacing him. So it is a first down for the Ticats at the Edmonton 41, Hamilton trailing 10-0. Marler fakes the draw to Obie Graves, then dumps it off for Leif Pettersson but it was over his head.
Once again, that outside rush of the Edmonton Eskimos gets caught on the inside. Tommy Towns, number 20. Marler's getting time to throw that football, Mike. Eventually, he's going to start finding these receivers.
Did a nice job of picking up Towns on the blitz, but also Pedersen does a nice job here. Watch him release in behind number 28, Greg Butler. He's got a beat right now. Marler tried to loft it over Butler into his hands, but just a little too far.
Marler is 2 for 4 in passing so far in this quarter for 26 yards. He faces another passing situation right now. The pass is incomplete as Dale Potter tipped it away.
Looking for Gordy Patterson curling in there, but again, the Edmonton linebackers, we talked about them before. Kepley is featured most often, but Tom Towns and Dale Potter, all of them very active and very excellent in their pass coverage, as well as effective when they come with that aggressive blitz.
Well, they will try the field goal, and the placement by Leif Pedersen will be at the 48-yard line. Larry Highbaugh stands about 12 yards deep in the Edmonton end zone. Ruoff puts it up. It is good.
Pat, that could have been good from 60 yards.
A tremendous kick by Bernie Ruoff has put the Hamilton Ticats on the board. And with just 54 seconds left to play in this first quarter, the score is now Edmonton 10, Hamilton 3.
And believe me, Bernie Ruoff has just helped his club an awful lot because they put together some good offense there. They didn't quite get down to where they wanted to get it, but it was a big play by Ruoff to cap off a pretty good offensive effort. Let's get Ruoff's reaction.
That body English did it. On first down, the give is to Neil Lumsden, and Lumsden gets about 3, but a flag comes down in the offensive backfield of the Eskimos as Luke Clare was there, number 39, to make the stop.
I think we're going to have a holding call against the Edmonton Eskimos. Thank you.
Referee Don Barker signals holding against number 57, Eric Upton. Let's go to Bill Stevenson.
The story on John McCorkindale, who you saw coming off the field in great pain, is that he has a groin injury. It's a pulled groin, and they're not sure if he's going to be able to get back in and out, but they're working on him, and they hope he'll be able to return. And I don't have to tell you fellows how important he is to that attack of the Hamilton Tiger Cats, especially the running of Obie Graves. So the verdict, a pulled groin.
Thank you, Bill. First and 20, Edmonton from their 25-yard line. Moon's throw is good to Danny Buggs at about the 38, so he gets about 13 yards, and the Eskimos will still be 7 yards short of their first down.
And I'll tell you, Frank, when Moon rolls, there's such big alleys created by the rush of the Hamilton Tiger Cats. If his receivers are covered, I'm sure that Moon can run up one of those alleys for at least 15 yards.
But part of the reason for that, Mike, is the Edmonton offensive line is really splitting out that defensive unit of the Hamilton Tiger Cats, much more so than they did during the course of the regular season. They're trying to isolate some of those big defensive linemen and negate some of the rush.
Moon is 7 for 10 in passing. Throws again, and Brian Fryer cannot make the circus catch in front of Jerry Anderson. As the gun sounds to signal the end of the first quarter of play, it is the Edmonton Eskimos 10, the Hamilton Tiger Cats 3. Grey Cup 80 continues after this.
Here's to the everyday things that end up being everything. Here's to all things simple, with casual clothing and footwear from Marks.
Well, we're back ready for what should be just as entertaining a second quarter as the first one was. The Edmonton Eskimos had 7 first downs, Hamilton had 4. And I'll tell you, it's anybody's ball game at this point, with the Eskimos out in front by a converted touchdown and now punting on 3rd and 7. Ball bounces in front of Obie Graves at his 22-yard line. Good cut. Gets him out over the 25 to about the 29, where Leo Blanchard was first downfield, number 59 to make the stop. A 51-yard boot by the leading punter in the CFL, Hank Olisic, and a 6-yard return by Obie Graves. Well, every seat, of course, has been sold here at Exhibition Stadium, and why not? This is the national championship. The Edmonton Eskimos are heavily favored, and they were the best team during the regular campaign. 13-3, their season record. They disposed of Winnipeg last week. They want to do the same thing to the Hamilton Ticats today to make it 3 straight Grey Cups and become one of only 5 teams in CFL history to do that. The play-action fake, and Marler puts it up. Good, DeMarco Sincar for a first down at the 51-yard line. Dale Potter making the hit for the Eskimos, but a big 23-yard gain from Marler to Sincar.
Great fake by Marler as he just turns to his left and fakes to Greaves at the line of scrimmage and holds Tommy Towns, the linebacker, on that side, and Sincar is wide open down there. Not a particularly well-thrown football, but complete nevertheless.
David Boone got through to hit the Hamilton quarterback just as he released the ball, but it's still a big gainer, and the Ticats have it at their own 51-yard line. They gave us to Obie Graves. He cut in off tackle and was upended by Dale Potter after he got to the midfield mark for a gain of about 3 or 4.
Well, I got to say I'm impressed with the Hamilton offensive line, Frank. They've been doing a better job for their quarterback than we saw Winnipeg, for example, do last week for Dieter Brock. Last week, the Eskimo defense just seemed to dominate, particularly in the second half, the opposition, whereas here, Hamilton's having some effect with a balanced attack. They haven't really put together for a big drive yet, but they're moving the ball.
The gain was 4 yards. It is 2nd and 6 as Dave Marler drops back into a short punt formation. Here comes the blitz from Butler. He evades that and is on the move. Marler will have the first down as he gets to the Edmonton 48-yard line.
Well, you know, this is what we expect from the Edmonton Eskimos, bringing all kind of different people on those rushes. You see Butler, number 28, coming from the top of your screen. He's wide open there. He's got a free shot at Marler, and Marler just manages to avoid him. That's the kind of play that the Edmonton Eskimos have made all year long. They just missed the tackle.
Marler's rushed for 245 yards himself and a 5.7-yard average, so you know he can move if he has to.
He's carried the ball 3 times this afternoon for 20 yards and has given Hamilton a first down at the Edmonton 48-yard line. The Cats are on the move. The toss goes to Obie Graves. Faked it inside, goes outside, and Obie Graves has another big first down to the Edmonton 30-yard line. Mike McLeod, the newcomer in replacing Pete Laverato, was there to make the stop, but Graves gains 18 yards.
Just an outstanding job coming around that right side. Kepling goes down. Potter's held up. He's able to make the turn, and Graves has a good pickup down to the 30-yard line of the Edmonton Eskimos.
Obie Graves said that he would gain 200 yards this afternoon. Well, he's carried the ball 6 times already. He's gained 50 as the Ticats have a first down at the Edmonton 30-yard line. Reverse to Obie Graves one more time. A flag comes down as Dan Kepley upended him at the 23-yard line. There is a flag on the play.
I think the flag is going to be holding against the Hamilton Ticats, and it's Henry Waschuk, the offensive center. If we can set this back up for you, you'll see as he pulls to the right-hand side, there isn't any question. Number 50 watches the play develops, and he goes to the outside to his right. Stop it right there. There he is. He's a little bit blanked out right now.
You had that one covered, Frank.
You look like you're in love with him, Frank. That looks like a little heart. Actually, Leif Pedersen was also holding, and he's the man that referee Don Barker detected. He is called for holding as we go to Bill Stevenson.
We've got the game going underway, so I'll come in after this play and talk with John Corkindale. Okay, Pat.
On 1st and 20, Dave Marler rolls out of there, fires. John Holland has the catch at the 25-yard line, his first catch of the day in front of Larry Heibaugh. Big play for the Ticats on 1st and 20. They get 15 of them.
No doubt about that, Pat, because the Tiger Cats still a struggling team, a young quarterback, all those things we've talked about. 1st and 20, they come up with a big play. They're still in contention. Now they're 2nd and 5. They'd love to get that 7 points. This will be a big test now, that offensive line, because I've got a feeling the Eskimos may come.
I'll tell you, Dave Marler is really establishing himself right in this quarter. He is 4 for 7 in passing for 64 yards. Doing a masterful job at the quarterback spot right now. In trouble, is sacked back at the 29-yard line by James Parker, who flew in unmolested for the first sack of the afternoon. It is 10-3. The Eskimos lead it. We'll return in a moment.
We suggested the Eskimos may come in the blitz, Pat, and they did. James Parker came in for Towns. He came in unmolested, as you said. The big play, and now the Tiger Cats are in field goal position.
The kick will come from the Edmonton 37-yard line. It is good. Bernie Rohoff is 2 for 2. The Hamilton Ticats are very much in this football game. They trail it now by just 4 points, 10-6, with 10 minutes and 19 seconds left to play in the first half. Bill?
I've got John McCorkindale here. John, how is that groin?
It's a little bit sore, but we've got some ice on it, and we're taking some anti-inflammatories, so we hope to get back out there.
You think you'll be able to play then, get that blocking in?
Well, I hope so.
Okay.
The Eskimos set for their first possession of this second quarter. They start from their 35-yard line. Give is to Jim Germany. Germany breaks out of there and has the first down as he crosses the 45 to the 46, and Randy Graham had to move up from his safety spot to make the stop. But that's the first explosive power of Jim Germany that we've witnessed. He did score the touchdown from the 1-yard line. But Germany, who gained more than 1,000 yards, explodes on that occasion for 11. And that, incidentally, is the most yardage gained on the ground this afternoon by the Eskimos. As Moon now with time throws down the middle, and Tommy Scott could not squeeze it at the Hamilton 40.
Boy, did Moon never deliver that football properly.
Perfectly.
Boy, it was all set up. You had your great route in the middle by Scott. You had the perfect throw by Moon. Jim Germany did a terrific job picking up the blitz by Zambiazzi. But here's a closer look at Scott on that route. You saw the little move to the outside, back to the inside. Woods recovered well. Undoubtedly his hit coming in prevented Scott from getting the bobbled ball back.
The 6th defensive back comes in for the Ticats on this obvious passing situation for Edmonton. Emil Nielsen comes in. Lou Claire goes out. And Moon was looking for Stu Lang, but he was tied up, so he takes off himself. Warren Moon gets all the way down to the Hamilton 38-yard line before Carl Cornell makes the tackle for the Ticats.
Actually, Cornell gets all tied up right at the line of scrimmage. You take a look at him. He's right in the middle of your screen. He doesn't look like he knows if he wants to blitz or not. Leo Blanchard, number 59, gets a piece of him. Cornell, of course, number 55. Tommy Scott tries to get a block for his quarterback down here.
Boy, you hesitate on that. You hesitate on that blitz, and it's absolutely lost then, Frank. I agree with you.
That's no man's land. You got to either come or stay back.
26 yards, the gain by Warren Moon. First down, Edmonton at the Hamilton 38. Moon into the middle of Tommy Scott, wide open. And Scott has the first down inside the Hamilton 20-yard line before Ben Zambiazzi makes the tackle for Hamilton. These are the Eskimos that everybody has come to know and fear. They are on the move and obviously upset at the fact that they haven't been able to dominate the Ticats the way they were supposed to.
And Tommy just slips to the inside, just a little hooking pattern, a curling pattern at about 12 or 15 yards. He kept sliding to the inside till he found the open spot, and that's the kind of thing Scott did so well, particularly during the last half of the season.
Moon is 8 for 13 in passing for 138 yards. This time he will go down. Tony Petruccio gets the first sack of the Edmonton quarterback this afternoon. It is Edmonton 10, Hamilton 6. This is Grey Cup 80 from Toronto. The sack by Tony Petruccio, and Edmonton now faces a 2nd and 16 situation.
They had the blitz this time. Cornell got picked up, but Ben Zambiasi got by Neil Lumsden, and he's one of the people that was in on that sack along with Petruccio.
Ball at the 26-yard line as Moon in trouble one more time. But look at him dancing, get out of there. Warren Moon gets down to the 10-yard line. He'll be short by about a yard of the first down, but he did a masterful job before finally being wrapped up by David Shaw and Lou Clare.
I'll tell you, Shaw might have saved some points here for the Hamilton Tiger Cats, making this tackle in the open field.
Petruccio again. He's had a great game, but it's those alleys we talked about, Frank. They're not coming in with that consistency, but theirs was Shaw's work that you mentioned. Here's some contact with Stu Lang and Harold Woods.
That'll eliminate a receiver for you.
And he is eliminated. Stu Lang is the injured Edmonton Eskimo in the end zone. But boy, you know, we talked about young Dave Marler and the confidence that he's displaying. Warren Moon looks like the seasoned veteran that he is. He's rushed the ball 3 times for 46 yards, has had complete command of that offensive unit, despite the fact that he did overthrow a couple of receivers early in this ball game. This drive, incidentally, started 6 plays ago, back on their own 35.
Frank, 3rd and 1.5. If you were Huey Campbell, would you kick 3 points or try for all the marbles?
I think I'd go for all the marbles at this point in the ball game, Mike. They got a lot of confidence in that offensive unit. Even if they do not make it, of course, the Hamilton Tiger Cats take over on their own 9 or 10-yard line. So I think it's a good spot to gamble.
I agree with you entirely. They're superior in both their units to Hamilton's. You rely on that. When you get the opportunity down at the 10, I'd take it. Let's go to Bill Stevens.
Well, I have with me, gentlemen, Rufus Crawford, the running back of the Hamilton Tiger Cats, who, because of injuries, etc., is not able to get in that lineup and have the twin tandem running combination of Opie Graves and yourself. Rufus, the game thus far, how do you feel it's going?
Well, it's going to expect this. I said it's going to be a physical game in the beginning, and we're going to have to be able to control Warren Moon in order to be able to stop them. And you see a lot of people getting hurt now, and it's going to be a physical game. And I just wish that I could contribute a little myself there, you know.
With McCorkindale out of there, that's got to hurt the running of Opie Graves a little bit.
Yes, it will, because John is a great blocking back, and Phil Caldwell hasn't really had that much time to go into to play the position. And if one more go down, we're really going to be in some trouble, you know, because right now those are the only 2 that we have. But I think Phil can do the job because he stepped in when we played Toronto and did a very good job.
Rufus, have you been trying anything differently in this game, the Ticats?
Well, we got a few links. We haven't tried anything yet, but I think we're going to come through with little things later on. But right now, you know, we're trying to establish the running game to open up the passing game. And, you know, without the running game, it's kind of hard to pass. And it's like with the passing game, same thing.
Okay, thank you, Rufus Crawford. Let's go to Don Whitman.
Well, Bill, this has been an extremely rough year for Edmonton receivers as far as injuries are concerned. Stu Lang just coming off now. John Konahowski, you've been out for a good portion of the season.
That's right. You know, I hurt my shoulder a few years back, and it keeps on reoccurring. But, you know, I'm just glad to be here at the Grey Cup again. And the decision wasn't made right until this morning on whether I was going to play or not. And he went with Mark Wald as a lineman because they didn't figure they needed a receiver. But I'm watching from the sidelines and helping as much as I can.
Okay, John. Good luck.
All right, the Eskimos will go for it. 3rd and a full yard. Moon keeps it himself. He has the first down and is down to the 1-yard line.
I'll tell you, shades of his career at the Rose Bowl and at the Pac-8. He knew exactly when to turn up that field. Watch the great move by Moon right here. Just a quick fake on Anderson right at the line of scrimmage and sets the Edmonton Eskimos offensively right down to the 1.5-yard line. Randy Graham finally making the stop.
Eskimos with first and touchdown to go from just outside the 1-yard line. Germany got the call last time. Neil Lumsden gets it this time but does not get in. There is also a flag down on the play.
Boy, I'll tell you, did he meet a wall? And Lumsden is big and tough.
Offside, Hamilton.
It was a moving wall, Mike.
That's right. Well, that's only fair. Lumsden had a 3-yard start.
So they'll place the ball right at the 1-yard line. It'll be first down over.
Offside. The Hamilton line. Down.
Obviously, the entire line did not give the full yard required.
So it is first down repeated, touchdown to go. The Eskimos at this moment leading it by 4 points, 10-6, with 5:50 left to play in this first half. This is what you would see if you were playing in that Hamilton defensive unit. Moon keeps it himself. No signal yet.
There's 3 Eskimos signaling touchdown, but none of the people in the shirts that count.
So the ball will be placed at the 1-yard line again.
Tells you something about that Hamilton unit. They tried to go over the left side in behind Upton and Stevenson again. That's where they had success with Germany in the first quarter.
Well, the goal line defense of Hamilton has Willie Martin and Ed George from the offensive line in there to play along that defensive front alignment. Let's see if they can do it again. Second down, Eskimos. The give is to Germany. Touchdown.
Well, Jim Germany's second touchdown of this football game, and he did not get into that end zone by very much. Matter of fact, I thought Warren Moon was further over the goal line than he was. You'll see Germany go up and over once more. The Edmonton Eskimos now opening up a bit of a lead, which was more or less expected. It's 16-6 now, 4:47 remaining in this first half.
Boy, he had to have the strength in his legs to go high, or he wouldn't have made it.
Jim Germany has 2 touchdowns this afternoon, has carried the ball 5 times for a total of only 15 yards, but that final yard is the toughest. Dave Cutler's point after is good, and so the Edmonton Eskimos are out in front 17-6 with 4:47 left to play in this second quarter.
For those of you who have some doubts, let's take yet another view from the end zone. Jim Germany coming high. Cronell will meet him right there. Oh, what a great hit.
And about 6 inches on the other side of the line, unfortunately for Hamilton.
And they're each 3 inches shorter now.
Well, that drive started at the 35-yard line of the Eskimos. The running and passing of Warren Moon set up the touchdown by Germany. And let's see now if the Ticats can come back one more time, as Obi Graves and Marco Sinkar again will be deep for the Ticats. And Dave Cutler tees it up at the Edmonton 45. Ben Zambiazzi, well, what can you say except he's an outstanding linebacker for the Ticats. And this is the most prolific kicker in CFL history, Dave Cutler. High and deep. Graves at his 7-yard line. Graves gets up to about the 29 before he's upended by Brian Fryer, who was first down. The 58-yard kickoff by Cutler is returned 22 yards by Obi Graves as we go down to Don Whitman.
They're still checking Stu Lang. Dr. Cherry is checking the rib area. Lang took quite a blow there in the end zone. They felt at first he was just winded, but now they're a little concerned that he may have bruised those ribs and he might not get in until they examine him at the half.
Thank you, Don. Let's watch the Hamilton Ticats now as they start from their 29-yard line. They fake to Graves. Marler keeps it and now throws to Leif Pettersson. Big gain and a big first down to the Edmonton 50-yard line. Forced out by Mike McLeod, number 18.
Again, the roll by Dave Marler. That's when he's been most successful. They got caught to the inside. Tom Towns was the contained man. You pointed that out before, Frank. It's been an Eskimo problem. Pettersson, flooding that left area with the rolling quarterback, is able to get open and streaks up the sideline.
You know, I really think made that play work, Mike, was that slow block by Pettersson on Tommy Towns, the linebacker on that side. They made it look like run.
The gain was 31 yards. First down, Hamilton at the Edmonton 50. That one was very nearly picked off by Dale Potter, looking for Gord Patterson inside. Well, we say hi to Mom, too, back in Ottawa. I hope she's not his mom as well. It'll be 2nd and 10 for the Ticats.
Some guys really get dressed up for the Grey Cup, don't they?
Yeah, look at Pat.
The ball right at the Edmonton 50-yard line. 17-6. Eskimos lead the Ticats. The pass is picked off by Mike McLeod. And McLeod returns it to the Eskimo 44-yard line. The blitz was coming. Marler unloaded. McLeod was there to pick it up.
And I think he unloaded inappropriately, Pat. There really was nobody open in that defensive secondary of the Eskimos. He just overthrows his intended receiver, who I believe was Lee Pedersen, number 71. A very easy interception for the Eskimos, who led the entire CFL in that department.
I think he just had a blind spot on McLeod there, Frank. I think he felt he was wasting the ball, but didn't count on McLeod playing that deep middle area.
First turnover of the ball game. It goes to the Eskimos. They have it at their 45. Moon pumps, fires inside to Jim Germany, but he was not able to hang on. Let's go to Don Whitman.
Mike McLeod, the man who made that interception. Mike, a big play.
Thanks, Led. You just threw it right to me, and I just, wasn't much I had to do. I just grabbed it and ran with it.
We've got 3 minutes, 9 seconds left to play in this first half of Grey Cup 1980. The Edmonton Eskimos out in front of the Hamilton Ticats, 17-6. Warren Moon has been the story to this point for the Edmonton offense. And let's see what he comes up with on 2nd and 10 from his own 45. He's got the first down, loses the football. The Ticats recover. Back-to-back turnovers. First by the Eskimos. Now the Ticats get it back. They'll have it at their own 51-yard line. Harold Woods picked up that loose ball.
Certainly one of the most significant aspects of this football game in the first 30 minutes has been the running of Warren Moon. He really showed his ability to scramble away from everybody down in there. Unfortunately for the Eskimos, he coughs up the football at the Hamilton Tiger Cat 51-yard line.
And Zambiasi, I think, is the one that punched it out, Frank.
The man who recovered for the Ticats, Harold Woods, to give his offense first down at their own 51-yard line. Marler again with the play action fake, going deep this time, looking for John Holland. And it is picked off by Joe Holloman at his own 8-yard line.
The ball should never have been thrown. John Holland extremely well covered. There's Joe Holloman, 29. Greg Butler, 28, is also there. It's Holloman who actually comes up with the ball. Excuse me, I think it was 18. Mike McLeod was back there with him. But it's Holloman who comes up with the interception at about the 9.5-yard line. But Dave Marler should never have released that football.
Joe Holloman, the 5-year veteran from the University of Arkansas, and we are being invaded, obviously. I wonder who they're for. Obviously, they're for the team that's in front right now, the Edmonton Eskimos. They lead it 17-6 with a first down from their 10. Looking for Brian Fryer inside, but the pass was low and away from him. Don Whitman, what's happening down there?
Well, here's the man who made the interception, Joe Holloman. Joe, in that regular season game, you made 6. You've got 2 this afternoon.
Well, I thank God for giving me an ability to be out here where I am.
Joe, you've had a great day defensively so far. Can you keep them off the scoreboard as far as touchdowns are concerned?
Well, I won't sell any wolf tickets because they may come and I may have to buy one of my own wolf tickets. But we're definitely going to give it a try.
2nd and 10, Eskimos from their 10 with 2.5 minutes left in this first half. Brian Fryer has the ball at the 21, and then a flag comes down. And a roughing penalty appears to be assessed against the Hamilton Ticats.
Boy, Leo Blanchard plants an absolutely perfect block on firing middle linebacker Carl Cornell, number 55, to allow Moon time to throw that football. Fryer has been a very effective offensive weapon today, Mike, as he was in the Western Final.
Hamilton, number 17.
Well, it's Jerry Anderson who hit Fryer, as you say, Frank, one of the favored targets of Warren Moon last week as well as today. Another look at it, and you'll be able to gauge for yourself whether or not he was late. All you need to do is touch him. He doesn't feel that's the way football should be played. I don't know. It's a judgment call. I would have exercised mine differently.
The third reception of the afternoon for Brian Fryer gives Edmonton first down at their 35. Moon going deep. Brian Kelly is there. And Kelly scores the touchdown.
70 yards, Pat.
Let's even make it 75 yards. Warren Moon to Brian Kelly for the most sensational play of the first half.
You don't have to say much. It's protection, an excellent throw, a great receiver.
And Shaw is trying to provide a man-to-man coverage against Kelly. They came on a blitz, Mike, as I'm sure you saw all three linebackers, the Hamilton Tiger Cats, coming in there trying to get the pressure on Moon. They did not, and Kelly got wide open behind Shaw.
Brian Kelly has been around the Edmonton Eskimos 3 seasons. The first year, he couldn't crack the lineup. Last year, he was the Rookie of the Year in the CFL. This season, he caught 48 passes. His 49th this afternoon was the biggest one of this season and probably of his career.
Well, let's take a close look at Brian Kelly. The man is recovering from a bad ankle. Doesn't seem to have too much of a problem running here. And let me remind you that David Shaw is one of the premier cornerbacks in the league. He outlegs him and Graham. Excellent play and a very big one for the Eskimos that may have put this beyond reach.
Let's go to Don Whitman.
Well, here's the man who made that great catch. Brian, you've made an amazing recovery for a man who really wasn't supposed to play this week.
I was very fortunate. I've just been blessed that I was able to recover quickly.
That was a great pattern. What was the particular call?
Something we've never run before. I just asked Warren to throw me a pass. You know, I'm getting kind of tired of not getting any balls.
Okay, Brian.
Howdy doody, you heard him. He said, just throw me the ball. We'll see what we can do with it. Cutler's kickoff, high and deep to Graves at his 2-yard line. Graves gets it to about the 23. That's where the Ticats will take over. With the Eskimos out in front 24-6 and 2 minutes and 14 seconds left to play in this second quarter. Obviously, the Hamilton offense needs points, and they need them in a hurry right now. Tom Rozant standing on the sidelines. It's unlikely that John Payne would make a switch in quarterbacks. However, they need points. Let's see what happens. On the draw, this is Obi Graves. Graves crosses the 25 to about the 28-yard line as York Henschel, 69, and Tom Towns also got a hand on him as we go downstairs to Bill.
You may notice that Dave Marler is not as mobile as normal because he twisted his knee in the last sequence and was having problems walking along the bench. I asked him how it was, and he says it's sore, and I'm not sure that I can turn or really move on it or pivot on it. So watch and see, Dave Marler.
2nd and 5, Ticats, as Parker is in now in place of Towns. We'll watch and see if Parker comes on the blitz. Marler throws at the last moment, and it's deflected by Larry Highbaugh as Marler was looking for John Holland.
I'll tell you, Dave Marler, if he twisted his knee the last week sequence, got rattled on that occasion too. He released the ball all right. But watch Dan Kepley, 42, the feared middle line. Oh, boy, did he hit him.
Dave Marler's last 4 passes have been incomplete. 2 of them have been intercepted. As Bernie Ruoff stands inside his 15-yard line to punt. Greg Butler and Emilio Frietta are back deep for the Eskimos. Good punt by Ruoff. Chases Butler back to his 25. He dives to about the 31. So that's where the Eskimos will put it into play with 1:13 left to play in this first half. The 56-yard punt by Ruoff was returned 5 yards. And the Eskimos, leading at 24-6, can thank this man, Warren Moon, who's completed 10 out of 17 for 223 yards and 1 touchdown.
How much has he run for, Pat? That's got to be a very significant factor in this ball game as well.
67 yards on 6 carries.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible.
unquestionably the star of the first half. The pass is complete to Brian Kelly in front of David Shaw at the 40-yard line, so he'll have a gain of 9, make it 2nd and 1 for the Eskimos, who were expected to dominate this game. Came out a little bit flat, I thought, in the first quarter, but they have certainly shown their mastery here in the second quarter.
Well, they're a team that never has to hurry into anything, Pat, because they do really overcome every other team in virtually every department of the game. And as a result, they just play for their opportunities. And then when they present themselves, they strike so quickly that they get way up ahead before too much time goes by.
Neil Lumsden was met right in the hole and doesn't gain an inch. James Ramey, number 68, the defensive tackle, was there to hit him the moment he got the ball. So on 3rd and 1, the Eskimos are going to be punted. Second punt of the afternoon for Edmonton punter Hank Olisic. The only other time he was forced to boot, he kicked it 51 yards. And with 1 minute and 5 seconds left in the first half, the Ticats are going to get the ball back.
And remember that Grey Cup history is filled with games where fumbles, whether it be in the specialty teams or in the regular course of the game, have very often turned around the course of events. So even though the Eskimos are the mightier of the two teams coming in, have a very dominant edge on the Hamilton Tiger Cats right now, anything can happen with the amount of time left because of what happens in classics like this.
Olisic's punt is aimed for the sideline, and let's see where they mark it. It'll be somewhere around the 40-yard line. They spot it right at the 39. So with just 39 seconds left to play in this first half, and the Eskimos out in front 24-6, the Ticats will start from their 39-yard line after that 31-yard kick by Hank Olisic. And since the prospect of overtime does not look great, on behalf of Mike Wadsworth, Frank Rigney, and Bill Stevenson, I'm Pat Marsden, thanking you for a most enjoyable 1980 season and hoping that you'll stay tuned for the second half, because Don Chevrier, Russ Jackson, and Don Whitman will be with you. Right through the hands of the intended receiver, Obie Graves, as the clock runs down to 34 seconds.
Last weekend, Pat, we had a situation where Winnipeg was up 17-6, I believe it was, against the same Edmonton, 17-4 against the Eskimos with less than a minute remaining. The Eskimos got a very dramatic touchdown within that period of time to narrow the gap going into the second half. If the Tiger Cats could ever score on this drive, that could do a great deal for them for the second half.
In short punt formation, Marler now scrambling out of there. Fires, it is complete to John Holland. He's got a first down and steps out of bounds at the 42-yard line of the Eskimos with 26 seconds left on the clock. Just a reminder that at halftime we'll have a sensational show from the field for you with your host Tom McKee, but halftime is still 26 seconds away, and with that 28-yard completion to John Holland, the Ticats could close the gap. It is currently 24-6 in favor of the Eskimos. Marler fires. The pass is complete to Leif Pettersson at the 35-yard line. He'll be short of the first down. Greg Butler was there to make the grab. 21 seconds showing on the clock. Ticats, of course, still have their timeout left. It is 2nd and 2 for the Ticats from the Edmonton 35. Marler over the middle, and Obie Graves dropped the ball. It was right in his hands, would have had the first down, but the ball slid right through. So the clock is stopped now with 14 seconds left, trailing 24-6. Gets pressure from the outside, puts it up, and it is incomplete, looking for John Holland as the flag comes down. Interference is going to be the call, and Hamilton may have a first down at the 17. There is also another flag in the Hamilton offensive backfield, and it appears to be holding.
I'll tell you, though, it's strange to me that on 3rd and 2, after Hamilton has used up the one timeout they have, that they're going for it. I could see if they had gone 3rd and 2 without using up the only timeout they had, to try to get the first down and then carry the ball in, and then with the timeout, control the clock and have a few plays to try to get a major score. But that was a strange call to me.
Well, what you had was holding against Henry Waschuk, pass interference against Larry Highbaugh, and now we have Bernie Ruoff coming on to try the field goal.
Let's take a look at the interference now. John Holland is 73, the intended receiver. Highbaugh is 13. Obviously, he had interfered with him. The referee called it. John Paints had second thoughts. Rather than going for the first down now, he had given up 7 seconds. That changes things. Now he's going for the 3 points.
Hank Olisic is back with Emilio Frietta in case this kick is wide. But it is not. Bernie Ruoff has booted his 3rd field goal of the afternoon. The Ticats have cut the lead to 15 points. It is Edmonton 24, Hamilton 9, with just 2 seconds left to play in this first half. Well, gentlemen, any surprises to this point?
I wouldn't say so, Frank. From my point of view, I think Hamilton's come out with all the determination that we expected of them, but so far Edmonton has proven to be the superior team in most phases of the game.
I think in the first quarter of this ball game, Mike, I was a little surprised how well the offensive line of the Hamilton Tiger Cats contained the Edmonton defense, but you're right, the Eskimos are now taking over pretty well complete dominance of the football game.
This will be the final play of the first half. Warren Moon just takes the pass from center, goes down on one knee. And the first half of the 1980 Grey Cup final has come to an end with the Eskimos out in front 24-9. Let's go now to Tom McKee.
At the end of the first half with the score Edmonton 24 and Hamilton 9. We'll be back with our halftime show in just a moment. A very stirring halftime show at Exhibition Stadium as we get set for the second half of the 1980 Grey Cup final between the Edmonton Eskimos and the Hamilton Tiger Cats, with the Edmonton Eskimos seeming to have things pretty well all their own way in the first 30 minutes of football. But that's only the first 30 minutes. We have another 30 minutes coming up. A moment ago, you were watching Don Chevrier and Russ Jackson. Let me now introduce them more formally. Don Chevrier will be broadcasting his 14th Grey Cup game, and Russ Jackson, as well as participating in 4, as I told you before, will be part of our broadcast in that capacity. This will be his 7th Grey Cup game. So, gentlemen, take it away for the second half of football.
Thank you, Tom. Well, it will be a very interesting third quarter, to say the least, to see whether or not the Tiger Cats, who obviously, Russ, were very high at the outset. This team certainly was not tame coming out here. Were handled by Edmonton if they can regain that emotion they need so badly to come back.
Don, they have to regain that emotion as far as their particular performance is concerned, but I think also it's going to be interesting to see how Edmonton plays this third quarter. Last year in the Grey Cup against Montreal, when they got ahead, they sat on that lead for some time, and there was some concern when Baker ran a long long punt back. But I don't expect Edmonton to sit on any lead today. I think they're going to go out there and try and put some more points on the board. So Hamilton is going to have to be full value if they're going to come back.
Right now, here's Bill Stevenson with the best player in the country, Dieter Brock of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
Don, it's absolutely right. The Shenley Award winner, and Dieter is the #1 quarterback in the country and the #1 player. What chance do you think Hamilton has of coming back in this game?
Well, they've got to start scoring some touchdowns. Edmonton's looks pretty strong to me right now, and unless they start moving the ball and scoring some touchdowns, they're not going to even be in the game.
Now, you've had some success against Edmonton. What would you suggest Marler must do if he gets the time?
Well, I think, first of all, the Hamilton defense has got to stop Edmonton's offense, because they just look super, and it's going to be a hard task to do, because Moon's had throws the ball, exceptional, and he's got so many exceptional receivers that it's hard to stop their offense. But they've got to try to get some pressure on Moon, and then, like I said, I think I thought Marler did a fairly good job starting off the game by rolling one way or the other, but he's got to get some points on the board somehow.
Here's the kickoff. Here's Don.
And here is Joe Holloman being turned back across the 20-yard line. A good hit by number 6, Harold Woods. And so the Eskimos, who exercise the option of receiving the second half kickoff, will be starting fairly deep.
Well, if any indication of what they do in special teams, Harold Woods has come out number 6 and indicated the Hamilton club is still going to hit some people.
The ball at the 23-yard line. Harold Woods, there he is. Real sticker for the Hamilton Ticats. Their special teams have been their best feature today, the Tiger Cats. Moon, the quarterback, brings the Eskimos out with that 24-9 lead to begin the third quarter. There's that quick pop to Scott. Finds the seam, the 45-yard line. Ball comes loose. It's Hamilton with the football inside the 45. Scott thought the play had been whistled dead. The official said, no, let's look at it.
Wow, just a great job. Jim Germany actually ran a short flat pattern and took the linebacker out of the way, and Scott came down the middle right off his wingback position and took that pass, but he fumbled the ball and was picked up by the Tiger Cats, and this is the kind of break you need, but you've got to score with it now.
Jerry Anderson's going to keep that football. Let's see if the Cats can hang on to it here. O.B. Graves finds it awfully tough and awfully crowded there as he penetrates the 42-yard line to get just a couple on the grass with York Henschel and Dave Fennell, the two defensive tackles of the Edmonton Eskimos. And the first half, as you know, was all Edmonton. Total offense, 315, 202 for Hamilton. The big weapon, the passing arm of Warren Moon and his fine array of receivers, 232 yards through the air. This is second down and 7 Hamilton. The ball parked to the 41 of the Eskimos. Marler getting away from outside pressure. Has it batted away by Dale Potter at the 37-yard line. Big pressure for Marler, unable to set his sights on any receivers downfield until he spotted a man around the 30, and Potter took that away from him. Third down and 7 now.
Well, one of those things when you get that turnover on the first play after that kickoff, you expect to do something with it. That time Edmonton's defense came up big. Dave Fennell putting some pressure on him, Potter knocking it down, but that's the type of thing Hamilton must take advantage of. We'll have a field goal attempt from Ruoff, which will be outside the 50-yard line.
They've all been long ones, 42, 48, and a 37-yarder for Bernie Ruoff. He's 3 for 3. They'll try this one from the 48 from where he has hit before. He's just wide. Highbaugh is going to give up a single point. Oh, he'll take his time doing it if that's the case. And finally step out and give 1 point to the Hamilton Tiger Cats. So Ruoff just wide as it missed on the left side is now 3 for 4, and it's 24-10. The measure of 2 converted touchdowns. The Edmonton Eskimo lead. And once again, Russ, the Cats given a good chance, a good break, and the fumble recovery failed to capitalize. Grey Cup 80 from Toronto returns in just a moment. On a cloudy but so far dry Grey Cup day, Edmonton takes the ball from the 41-yard line because Ruoff missed one. And they go from that point. A single on the board, 24-10, Edmonton leads. Move out to Danny Bugs. That is complete. Good for about 6 or 7 yards in there. He was hit by Leroy Paul, number 27. Here's Bill Stevenson.
The injury report for the Hamilton Tiger Cats is not that good. They've got David Shaw wearing a cast on the right wrist. He has broken one of the small bones in that right hand and, of course, has considerable pain. John McCorkindale, the groin injury, he will not go in unless someone else is injured because he's still in great pain. And linebacker Jack Blair is out. That's the injury report from the Ticat bench. Back to Don.
Second down and 4. Knocked away smartly by David Shaw, cast and all. Coming up the back of number 70 of the Eskimos, Brian Kelly. And Moon took a shot down there, too, from Wayne Smith as he unloaded the ball. But there's Dave Shaw with a big defensive knockdown, making it third down and 4.
Well, Dave Shaw is wearing that cast, as Bill Stevenson reported, comes up on this out pattern, and there was some pressure from Zambiazzi and Wayne Smith. But he came up, pushed his hand in front, and knocked the ball away, forcing Edmonton into a punting situation.
You know, you're watching some of the best kickers in North America here. One of them, certainly, the punter, Hank Olisic, will get his third of the day, just his third punt here in the third quarter.
Uh-oh.
No, he will not. Here is the big play for the Eskimos for Neil Lumsden. He is inside the 20-yard line at the 15. Short punt formation, the snap to Lumsden, away he went. And the Eskimos are 15 yards away from virtually putting this game out of sight.
Neil Lumsden, who's sitting here, right here as one of the blockers, is going to get a direct snap from the center. And you can see the big split in that Tiger Cat line. And the players just go back for a punt return. And there is no one in front of Neil Lumsden except usually the middle linebacker, Dan Kepley, number 42.
Well, this Eskimo team, a powerhouse and an exciting football team with plays like that. Go from the 15-yard line. Moon to Scott, and he is out of bounds. He will have a first down in the area of the 4-yard line.
Wow, Warren Moon just continuing to throw that ball and put the pressure on the Hamilton defense. Rolling out here, and Zambiazzi gets caught to the inside. Moon is so strong when he's running to the left side as a quarterback. He could put more on that ball than any quarterbacks I've seen in the last few years.
John Scott, the ex-Winnipeg Blue Bomber. The injured player is Bill Stevenson, not the fellow we've been talking about on the sidelines, but the offensive left tackle, number 62 for Edmonton. A veteran on this Eskimo offensive line.
I tell you, he's a big one too. He weighs a heck of a lot out there. He goes at about 270 pounds, and they will miss him because they have had some problems on that line with Mike Wilson being hurt and Stevenson actually replacing him.
Well, Bill Stevenson, ours, talked about the injuries. There have been a lot of them in this Grey Cup game.
The top of your screen, you can see him go down now as he trips over his own ball player, and he just is not up at this point, but trying to get a block on the defensive lineman and tripping over his own player.
We knew it would be physical, even though the Eskimos had better skill, better all-around balance and depth than Hamilton, but we knew the Ticats could play with them, and I think that has accounted for a lot of these injuries today. Let's check in with Don Whitman now.
Ron Este, old Swamp Dog, and the Eskimos seem to come up with that one trick play every Grey Cup game.
Yeah, he worked nicely for us. I'm very glad it did. I'd just like to say hello to the people back home who for so many years hadn't been able to watch, and now they can. I'd like to say hello to my mom, and then back in Edmonton, my kids are watching, I'm sure. How y'all doing, boys, girl?
Saves the cost of a phone call.
That's right. Thank you very much.
Okay, Ron.
We have an estimated audience upward of 20 million watching throughout North America, Canada, the United States, and Mexico. And they're watching the finest football team, certainly in the country, the Edmonton Eskimos, indicative of the power of the West. Their coach, Huey Campbell. What's been happening here, I think, Russ, is indicative of the tough kind of season they have had in the Eastern Conference. The West has dominated the CFL. Stevenson, the big man you alluded to, is in pain. There's a couple of other big ones. Very slowly bring them across to the Eskimo bench.
Well, he's trying to walk on his own now, but you can see that that one leg is very tender, and we'll have to watch and see if Stevenson can come back into the ball game. One of the big decisions was whether to dress Dan Yoakum, who had played a couple of ball games with Edmonton, for this particular game. The decision was not to dress Yoakum, and Stevenson is playing and started at that left tackle spot.
So they'd be thinning out a little bit along that offensive line now because of what has happened for the time being to Stevenson. They have the ball just outside the 3 with a first and goal situation. Defending Grey Cup champion Edmonton Eskimos. Germany is cut down at the line of scrimmage, certainly not beyond, might have lost. Now a penalty marker goes down at the completion of that play. Petruccio was the defender for the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
We'll have to wait for the call, Don, and see exactly what the penalty was. There's still some conversation between a couple of the players, Jim Germany and Harold Woods.
It's going against the Eskimos. Don Barker will tell us.
Unnecessary roughness. Edmonton, number 25. A dead ball foul, 15-yard penalty.
Takes him way back near the 20-yard line on Germany's infraction.
Well, a pitch to the outside, and Luke Clare does a good job, number 39, of penetrating, and he just gets a hold of him low at the ankles along with Petruccio, and then Germany objects to the way he's put down and gets the call.
He threw the ball at him. That brought about the penalty. Hamilton still has the long end of the penalties so far today. Second down and goal. Here's the fake to Lumsden. Moon being chased by Zambiasi, and Petruccio puts it up. It is complete for a touchdown to Tommy Scott. Warren Moon bailing out beautifully.
Well, Ben Zambiasi, who has the outside containers, there's a little fake inside, but everybody knew there was going to be a pass. Got caught up at the line of scrimmage with Bob House. He just couldn't do anything, and Warren Moon just threw that ball the best he could, going out of bounds, and Scott made the catch, got up about the 5-yard line, and went into the end zone. But he never quits out there. He's trying to find the open area, good isolation shot. He's saying he takes that quick look to see where the defensive man is, because Moon is still running with that ball, and you can see there was no trap. It was a good catch.
Well, some will say he might have been grounded right there. There's the point after, because he was touched down with his knee down on the ground, but he got up and went in for the score, and the Eskimos now have a 31-10 lead. A measure of 3 converted touchdowns over the Hamilton Tiger Cats. We have played just 4 minutes and 40 seconds of this, the third quarter of the 1980 Grey Cup game from Toronto. So indeed, the Cats did score first in this half, but only a single point, and the Eskimos got that back with 6 to spare.
Well, Don, Warren Moon is just continuing to do exactly as he wants out there, and if there's one person who is controlling the football game out there, offensively or defensively, it's number 1, Warren Moon, because right here, he just shows the great speed he has, because Zambiasi has good position on the outside of the blocker, but just can't catch Warren Moon as he rolls right to the sideline before he threw the ball down.
Well, watch here.
Right about there, was he down or had he get up off the ground?
That's the question. Just take a few seconds longer, that's all. There's Obie Graves, the 7-yard line, his starting point. And Obie gets across the 30. The Cats will be around the 32 for their first down play. Tom Towns, number 20, made the tackle, and here's Don Whitman.
It looks as though Bill Stevenson is finished for the afternoon. They've got his right ankle wrapped in an ice pack. The team doctor indicated that it appears to be rather serious. They will be taking x-rays. They're concerned that it may be broken.
Oh, boy. John Holland, wide left. Marco Sincar. Rumors have it may go back to the Eskimos next year on the right side. Wide for Hamilton. Myler still the quarterback. Puts it up too far for Gord Patterson at the 45-yard line. He was being shadowed by Ed Jones, number 24. Of course, at this stage of the game, the Cats 3 touchdowns in arrears. They're going to have to put that ball up a lot. But when you do that against a team like the Eskimos, you certainly run the very high risk of interception. They picked off 2 in the first half, as it was on long throws with Myler facing the blitz. Second down 10. 32-yard line of Hamilton. Graves couldn't get all of his block. Myler is taken down at the 22-yard line by David Boone. Obie Graves failed to contain the charge coming in. And Hamilton will be punting on 3rd and long yardage. The second sack by the Eskimos of Marler. Watch Graves in this play trying to block.
Well, with Edmonton knowing that Marler has to throw that ball a little bit more, they've got James Parker, probably one of their best pass rushers in there, and he just blew right by Obie Graves, number 3, to actually put the pressure on the quarterback, and David Boone makes the final hit.
Eskimo defenders standing at the 40-yard line. Frietta and Butler for the punt by Bernie Ruoff at a 44.3-yard average in this Grey Cup game. Another good effort by Ruoff is in the air. Butler, the 38-yard line, fumbles the football, and it's Ben Zambiasi for Hamilton with it. Priester and Zambiasi right there to make the big play again for the Tiger Cats. Priester is the man who came up with the ball.
Well, Edmonton keeps trying to help Hamilton get a touchdown as Butler here now tries to bring back this third down punt. A good contact in there, and you can see Priestner, number 36, knows where that ball is.
It is now at the 43 of Edmonton. The Cats, even with this break, have got a long, long way to go. Here's Zambiazzi, who forced the play, and the ball free, number 31. Marler for Pettersson. It is incomplete. Double coverage on Pettersson down the middle. Greg Butler was the Eskimo who got his hand up, number 28, to tip it away from Pettersson. There's Priestner, the ex-Baltimore Colt, back for the Hamilton Tiger Cats, who has recovered the ball to give Hamilton one of their better field positions in the entire day. They have not come too deep on the Eskimos.
Well, Greg Butler, number 28, who actually fumbled that ball on the third down punt situation, does a good job of defending against Pettersson.
Second down 10. Here they come, and down goes Marler on the blitz from Dan Kepley, the middle linebacker. Number 42. He's so quick. Doesn't seem to matter where the Cats get their hands on the ball or what kind of breaks they obtain. The Eskimo defense is so tough. 16 yards the loss there.
Well, Dan Kepley's hiding in behind here, behind the man over the center, number 65, Dave Fennell, and he'll just come in there clean, and he makes the tackle as Marler is having some problems getting out of the pocket now, and certainly the problem with that knee is slowing him down considerably.
Ruoff will punt to Butler and Frietta. It is going to be Butler again to the 20-yard line, and he stopped almost in his tracks short of the 25 by James Ramey, number 68, limiting the run back to only 3 yards. This is Grey Cup 80 from Toronto. There's the view overhead on Grey Cup Day, Ontario Place Exhibition Stadium in Toronto, Ontario. 31-10, the Edmonton Eskimos, the powerhouse of the CFL, with a comfortable 3-touchdown lead, starting out on their 28-yard line. And Smith is right there with Tony Petruccio. Limit that gain to about 1.5 yards. The line of scrimmage actually is the 23.5-yard line. It's going to be second down Eskimos and about 9.
Don, as we speculated just before the half started, Edmonton is not going to sit on any type of lead.
They don't play that way. This Edmonton club is just awesome. 3 losses in the entire season. Here's Scott. Harold Woods takes him down across the 40-yard line. A flag is thrown. Could have been a late hit in there. It's another Eskimo first down, and probably more yardage on top with a penalty. There's Don Barker.
Hamilton, number 55, piling on. 15-yard penalty.
That is Carl Cornell, number 55, called for piling on.
Well, Tom Scott going downfield is just having an outstanding afternoon as one of those wingbacks. This time he gives a little fake to the outside to Harold Woods, number 6. Turns it inside, and the ball is right there from Warren Moon. And you can see a definite late hit. Probably number 14 or 55 could have been called.
Take your pick. Give them each a penalty. First down to the 53-yard line. Look at the time Moon has to throw way downfield, too far. 5 yards over Danny Buggs, who's being covered by Jerry Anderson. Warren Moon now 16 of 25 passing today. Here's Don Whitman.
Bill Stevenson, very tough break for you and the Eskimos.
Oh, I can't believe it, really. I haven't been hurt all season long, and something like this in the biggest game in 3 years. I can't believe it.
Really, what happened? You think it's broken?
Well, I know it's got torn ligaments on one side. It feels like it's bad on the other side. I don't know. They said it could be. They're going to take x-rays after the game.
Tough break, Bill.
Second down, 10. Moon again with time. Scott falling for 6th catch of the game. For what should be another first down at the Hamilton 41. Luke Blair, number 39, with a hit for Hamilton. There he is.
Well, one of those mismatches when you get Luke Clare, number 39, who's playing the linebacker spot, trying to cover Scott man-to-man, and Scott is having a field day starting this half.
A lot of Eskimo receivers, and the man who throws to them, Warren Moon, have had a field day.
Well, in isolation, we'll see Scott turning to the outside, and Luke Clare, number 39, had inside position to start with and had no chance of getting out there with Scott.
Here's the charge on Moon, but he has it in the air. It is Jerry Anderson or Dave Shaw. He stepped right in front of the receiver, Brian Kelly, and the Cats have it around the 9-yard line. Shaw's turnover. He got the chance because of the pressure on Moon.
Don, I'm sure that Warren Moon would like to have that one back. Number 68, Jim Ramey, was all over him, and he armed through that ball downfield with Ramey hanging onto him about 40 yards, but it hung up in the air, and Dave Shaw just stepped in front of the receiver, tried to get outside for some block and couldn't get away, but Hamilton will take over on their 9.
From the Eskimo standpoint, Russ, it's as good as a punt.
That's right. You can see how even when Petruccio came in, they couldn't knock Warren Moon down.
That's the turnover situation. 5:10 left in quarter 3. 31-10 Eskimo. Marler has it close in on him. The ball knocked away. It is going over to the Eskimos on the 3-yard line. Towns, number 20, came up with it in a battle for possession. It was simply, as you saw, battled out of the hand of Dave Marler.
Well, Marler going back to throw just about his own goal line, and Towns came on as the linebacker, and you can see that Obie Graves couldn't get out there to get a hold of him, and he just lost the ball as he went to throw it downfield, and Edmonton is recovered on the 3-yard line. But again, you can watch as Towns Graves is faking to the inside. Towns came around the block of the offensive lineman, and Marler seemed to lose it almost before he even hit him.
Well, Marler made his forward motion. There was one problem. It was after he dropped the ball. So it's a fumble. Eskimos go from the 3-yard line in an attempt to add to their lead at 31-10. Germany down near the 1. Petruccio was there along with Carl Cornell and Bill Stevenson. Unhappy about that injury. Trying to keep that leg warm. Cats try to beef up with Martin and George coming in now for the goal line stand. It is at the 2-yard line. 2nd down. Little bumping in there. It was too far for the receiver Kelly, who looked around right away at the official for possible interference. Dave Shaw was covering down there, but the official said no, it's going to be 3rd down from the 2. And Tom Wilkinson brings on the Edmonton Eskimo field goal unit.
Well, you can see Kelly going downfield and Shaw taking a shot at him. Notice how he's keeping that arm in the cast away, just pushing him with his left arm. Kelly's looking to see if the official's going to call interference. Cutler going to try a field goal, but after them faking that punt, you wonder if maybe they might try something here.
You can't assume anything with this club. If he does go for the field goal, it'll be a chip shot from the 9-yard line with Wilkie holding. He'll go for it, and he'll get it. Eskimo lead now is up to 24 points at 34-10. With 3 minutes and 53 seconds of 3rd quarter playing time remaining. The Eskimos have simply deflated this once high Hamilton Football Club. As the Cats have learned what most teams across the west of the CFL discovered a long time ago, Eskimos are a powerhouse. Here's Bill Stevenson.
Well, here's a familiar face, too, Terry Evanson. Of course, Don Whitman's partner out in the west on the CFL broadcast, and former Hamilton Ticat. What aren't they doing right? Are they just not good enough, Terry?
No, they are, Bill. They're just getting too much pressure up the middle. And Marler's staying in the pocket too much. He's got semi-rolls. The wide receivers on the outside are open. They've got to get to the outside and find those people. They got to get some consistency, some first downs. The defense has been on the field the whole day.
Is Marler playing a bad game?
I just don't like, you know, it's the play calling right now. I don't think it could be a heck of a lot better.
Thank you, Terry Evanson.
And there he goes with a sack once again. Ron Este 55, David Boone 64. The two defensive ends both getting to him back of the 20-yard line. The loss is 15. It'll be second down and 25.
Don, you can't give Marler, get him into too much trouble for this, because you can just see the penetration by the Edmonton defense. All four white sweaters are in that backfield, and you have to realize that when they're on Marler, he's retreated about 10 or 15 yards back. So the offensive line has got to start coming up big.
Lost 44 yards on sacks by the Eskimo defenders so far, Marler has. Got a lot of room if he chooses to go, and he does. Marler is up very close to a first down. He got about 25 yards, and indeed may have. That first down will be very close to it. At least McLeod forced him out of bounds. Will return. Grey Cup 80 from Toronto returning in just a moment. We count down to the final 2 minutes and 49 seconds of the third quarter with the Eskimos in command here. Rosentz, Tom Rosentz, the backup quarterback. We will likely be seeing him soon as he warms on the sideline. But for now, Marler, who got the first down, has the Cats at their 45-yard line. Obie Graves slips through for about 3 to 4 yards. Eskimos Kepley, who's quick, reacted to the quickness of Graves and kept down his game. Want to acknowledge some new members from the media in the Hall of Fame. Announcements made yesterday that the late Henry Viney of Calgary, Anna Stukas of Vancouver, Andy O'Brien of Montreal, and Jim Coleman of Toronto have been inducted as media members to the Canadian Football Hall of Fame. We offer our congratulations to them. Second down, about 6. Marler pops one to Patterson. He is inside the Eskimo 50 at the 49. First down again. The tackle from Ed Jones, number 24.
Don, Marler is getting slower and slower, getting up every time he gets hit. That time Kepley blitzed, he got the ball away. But Marler is really hurting a bit, and I think that's why Tom Rosentz was warming up in the sideline.
Well, those great shots you've been seeing up top are from that airplane, which is a Wilga with our cameraman Peter Brimson. And that is the kind of magnificent picture that's being provided by Mr. Brimson, the pilot, and that aircraft for us this afternoon. Obie Graves, a draw play, but a flag flies. The defensive backfield of the Eskimos. Here's Graves. He certainly has enough for the first down, depending on what the penalty turns out to be. Graves down to the 33-yard line where Jones and McLeod met him.
Well, I kind of think it might be holding.
Not with a customary spot, but yes, it is. It was a little farther downfield. But holding is holding, no matter where it occurs. And Don Barker will roll this game back.
Well, on a drop play, you try and get off that line, make it look like a pass, and then turn it upfield. Henry Waschuk got a pretty good block in turning the man over the middle, number 40 Parker, to the outside, but the holding was downfield, and we'll hear from the official who it really was, Don Barker.
I'm not so sure he's going to tell us. Wipes out a 16-yard gain, takes it back to the 51-yard line. It's 1st and 20. Less than a minute to play in the third quarter. Oh, they read that one. Obie going nowhere. York Henschel wrapped him up right there for a loss on the play. It is going to be second down, and now 22 yards to go, Hamilton.
Well, the whole defensive line was waiting for that one. Henschel made the tackle, but Kepley, Fennell, they were all waiting.
Henschel is 6'3", 250-pound Canadian. Second and 22. Marler taking a lot of time getting this play off. Now steps up, goes for Pedersen, deep downfield, and knocked away beautifully at the 12-yard line. Double coverage by the Eskimos. Larry Highbaugh was there with Mike McLeod. McLeod knocked the ball away, And the Cats will have to punt it away when play resumes. At the end of the third quarter, the score, Edmonton 34, Hamilton 10. Grey Cup 80 continues.
Here's to the everyday things that end up being everything. Here's to all things simple, with casual clothing and footwear from Marks.
On that final play of the third quarter, Larry Highbaugh, number 13, just coming off now, got tangled up with his teammate McLeod and the receiver Patterson. He's been shaken up.
Well, in isolation, Pedersen going downfield, running more of a pattern that you might expect against a man-to-man defense rather than the zone. Highbaugh staying to the outside. You can see him back there in the zone. McLeod's going to come from the inside to knock it away from the inside receiver, number 71, Leif Pedersen. But Marler's losing the guessing game right now. He's trying to guess when they're going to blitz him. That time they didn't come, played the zone. Pedersen ran right into the zone.
Highbaugh with 50 interceptions in a distinguished CFL career. So we begin the fourth quarter with the Cats about to punt it away to the Eskimos again on 3rd down and 22. 34-10 is Edmonton's lead. Here they come. Just away. Parker almost got a piece of it. Ruan kicks it down to Butler at the 20-yard line. And again, best aspect of Hamilton's game has been their coverage on punt return. Let's go down to Bill Stevenson.
Leif Pedersen, the final receiver of the Hamilton Tiger Cats, is getting his knee tended to. It is not believed to be serious, a bruise, and so Leif probably will be going back in action. But it's just one more of the injuries that have been hitting this Hamilton club as everything has been going against them on the score department, of course, on the field, but in the injury department, too, they're hurting and hurting badly.
From the 22-yard line, Moon brings the Eskimos out. Scott to the 35-yard line, bobbling it just for a moment, then making sure, taken down by Randy Graham.
You can see how much room the Hamilton defense is giving these receivers. As Scott goes to the outside, he bobbles the ball and still comes down with it before any Hamilton defender is near him. And Moon's still going with what they do best, and that is throw that ball.
The game plan is the game plan.
Well, Scott will bobble the ball as he goes to the outside. You can see no Tiger Cat around. He makes the reception, still takes 2 or 3 steps before the Tiger Cats are there.
Quickly, it is complete. Fryer at center field. Into the middle he goes, the 40-yard line, taken down inside the 35. Lou Claire just got a piece of him as he went by. And again, the Eskimos are in scoring range in Hamilton territory.
Well, I know the Hamilton fans and Hamilton players were talking about the 50 points Edmonton was supposed to score against them. Well, I'll tell you, if they don't start tackling properly, they could score 50 points because Fryer here runs through a few arm tackles. Randy Graham not making too much of effort. There's another one. And finally, Luke Claire comes from behind to pull him down. Otherwise, he might have gone a lot further, but they better start making some tackles.
From the 39, the 34 it is. Hamilton. Another strike to Scott, hit by Harold Woods. And he will be very close to, in fact, should have a first down. 54,649. The attendance for this 1980 Grey Cup game, every seat sold at Exhibition Stadium in Toronto, and those faces tell the story from the Hamilton side of the field. Dave Marler, the quarterback, has not been able to get it going under tremendous pressure all day. One more look at Scott's catch.
Well, you got to put some pressure on Warren Moon. If you don't come after him, he's going to do this all day. And if you're going to let Woods take him one-on-one, you might as well bring some linebackers and try and get in Warren Moon's face and make him throw the ball a little early.
Here's Neil Lumsden finding good yardage inside the 10-yard line for another first down. 5 plays, 5 first downs in this drive, which began back at the 22-yard line of the Eskimos. Woods with a tackle there. This team is simply too good for Hamilton. I suspect too good for almost everybody. And the Grey Cup, it appears, will certainly be heading west for a 3rd consecutive year. The property of the Edmonton Eskimos. Even though we have just under 12 minutes to play, Well, they're blowing them out. There's no other way to put it. Moon into the end zone. Little mix up there. No receiver in the immediate area. Fryer was in the vicinity but could not make the catch. It'll be second down. There's Jerry DiTilio, double nominee for Shenley Awards. Top Canadian winner this year, Russ.
I'm surprised to see Jerry here. He talking to me on Friday, said he was going to go home and maybe watch the game on television, but he's here and watching it, and I'm sure a little upset that they're not out there playing this Edmonton team.
Maybe relieved they're not out there playing this Edmonton team.
No, you're never relieved. You want to be there.
I don't think the Cats are enjoying themselves all that much right now. Second down from the 8-yard line.
He's all alone.
Another touchdown. Tommy Scott is going to keep the ball and just head for the Eskimo bench as they run the lead up to the 40 mark at 40-10.
Well, they ran the same play about 5 times in that drive. The outside receiver goes downfield, runs a post. The inside receiver, Scott or Fryer, runs a little out pattern. They completed 3 to Scott, 1 to Fryer, and it's very easy. Low angle, you can see Warren Moon running outside, gets a good block. Lumsden gets Zambiazzi, makes him go around him, and that's all you have to do. And you can see how wide open the receivers have been throughout the complete drive.
The point after is through. Scott's second touchdown makes it 41-10, 11-16 to go. Grey Cup 80 from Toronto returns in a moment. The kickoff in the area of Obie Graves goes out of bounds inside the 5-yard line, so the Eskimos will repeat that. Warren Moon is 100 or so yards away from the all-time passing yardage record in the Grey Cup game. Let's check in with him now.
Warren Moon, you're having quite an afternoon.
Well, you know, they're doing some things we thought they'd do. We knew when they got behind, they'd start blitzing a lot of people, and one-on-one, we just don't feel they can cover our receivers. And if our linemen are picking up the blitz like they are, it makes it pretty easy for me to hit our receivers because they're open.
What about that pass, the touchdown throw to Tommy Scott?
Well, again, it was a blitz, and Tommy read it and broke the pattern off short. I happened to read it, and he was wide open. It's easy.
I think it makes it a lot easier when you've got Brian Kelly back in the lineup too, doesn't it?
A lot easier. It takes a lot more pressure off our inside guys, and they haven't been able to double cover the way Winnipeg did last week, and he's a great addition to have back with us this week.
Say, in 3 years now, you must think this Canadian Football League season always lasts until the end of November.
Well, I tell you what, I wouldn't know what to do if we went home any earlier than this. It's great to be in the Grey Cup every year. I think this is the epitome of Canadian football, and I'm happy just to be a part of it.
We're happy to have you, Warren. You've had a brilliant afternoon. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Well, John Priestner is the injured Hamilton player, shaken up on that punt that jumped out of bounds, or the kickoff. Warren Moon, who had the great Rose Bowl, was touted as the Eskimos' quarterback of the future. I'll tell you, he's the quarterback of today and the future. He's arrived. Priestner getting up and out to the Hamilton bench. The VIP section, Premiers Lougheed and Davis, Commissioner Jake Gador taking in the action today.
Well, you know which one is happier.
The fellow with the Hudson Bay coat, I think, is having a marvelous time.
I think so, yeah. John, you talk about Warren Moon as we see the VIPs there. The guy who's been forgotten is Wilkie, you know, and he's had so many great years. All week they've forgotten him. And I was talking to him before the game, and a little disappointed, I think.
Yep, he has been the forgotten man. With Moon coming on, here's Graves, kick off the 20-yard line, and he'll take it back near the 35 to give the Hamilton Ticats a start there. They've got a long way to go, an insurmountable distance. Here's Don.
Tommy Scott, your second touchdown of the afternoon. That atoned for a couple of earlier ones, and one you dropped, and another one you fumbled.
That's right. I've got my parents here from San Francisco, and I think I was just trying a little too hard with those, and now I'm relaxed, and things are going our way, and I hope to catch on a couple more.
Okay, Tommy.
Thanks, Tom.
Scott with his 9 catches, 2 touchdown receptions. Here's Wilkie. He may get a shot at this before it's out.
Well, I'd like to see that.
Scott, by the way, is equal to Grey Cup record, the all-time high by individuals, 2 touchdowns. If he gets one more, of course, it'll be all his, a new one. Eiler puts it out to Pedersen. Out of bounds he goes up near the 42-yard line. The gain is about 8 yards, and Dan Kepley was the man who persuaded him to step into touch. With 10 minutes and 49 seconds remaining, but it's 41-10 for the Eskimos over the overmatched but game Hamilton Tiger Cats.
And I believe the one thing Hamilton would like to do now is to put a concerted offensive march together, give their defense a little rest, and try and get a touchdown on the board this afternoon.
Marler 10 for 22, and it's going to struggle all the way. Colby Graves. Kepley hits him down, hits him hard. As they spill out around the 45-yard line, the gain is going to be enough for the first down, it would appear. Here's Bill again.
Well, Don and football fans across the country, I think that this picture, better than anything else, even the scoreboard, tells us what it's all about. A very, very disillusioned group of Hamilton Ticat football players. You could see it in the third quarter, however, when Dave Marler, the young quarterback, came off and obviously was beaten. He went and sat by himself on the bench all alone, didn't even stop to talk to the coach. And at that time, the Hamilton Tiger Cats were not going to come.
Well, it is hard to remember as Marler rolls out now. Kepley after him. It is incomplete, but with 4.5 minutes to play in the first half, these teams were only 4 points apart. The Eskimos blew them out with 2 touchdowns in the final 2.5 minutes of the first half, and that has been the story, as the Cats could not make a comeback in the third quarter. The Eskimos scoring 10 points in the third, 7 more here in the fourth, 1 for Hamilton in the entire second half, and it's 41-10.
And Don, I think the Edmonton defense has also solved the offense that Marler was using early in the ball game with that sprint out. He has not been able to get to the outside the second half as he did early in the ball game.
Second down, 10. Into the shotgun, short punt formation goes Marler. And he hands the ball to Graves on a reverse. The Eskimos were fooled on that one, as he is out of bounds with a first down, a gain of close to 12 yards. Dan Kepley again with his good speed in pursuit, forcing him out. The fellow brought his own Grey Cup along. Obviously, it's not empty. Well, it almost is.
Well, we've got a face mask, a roughing call grabbing a face mask back in the backfield, and I believe it's against the Hamilton Tiger Cats, and they just can't seem to get it going now. Everything's going against them.
Most penalized team in the CFL this year, having to take penalties here. Face guard's the indication.
Unnecessary roughness. Face masking. Number 50 of Hamilton.
Well, Henry Washuk centering the ball is going to drop back and try and pick somebody off, and he just grabbed the face mask back there. We didn't see it actually on that particular play, but he gets called for it. And Hamilton now is looking at a 2nd and 25.
Marler taking a long count to get these plays on. For Pedersen, intercepted by Larry Highbar. Heading for open country at the 35-yard line. He'll simply step out of bounds, easing himself out for the first down turnover at the 28 of Hamilton.
Well, again, Don, the one that Highbar knocked down when he was hurt. You look at Pedersen trying to go downfield, and Highbar just playing out there in that zone defense. He just waits. He's reading the quarterback. Marler throws it up there. He steps in front of Pedersen, who doesn't know where he is. And now he's looking, hoping to get to the outside. Too many Hamilton players. He steps out of bounds. And here we are with Edmonton again in scoring position.
And the forgotten man has just been rediscovered. Tom Wilkinson, the veteran of so many Eskimo victories and Grey Cups in the past. Now the backup to Moon gets his shot here in the crowd, enjoying the appearance of Wilkie as he hands to Neil Lumsden. The ex-Hamilton player, Toronto Argonaut, inside the 25-yard line for about 5. There's Larry Highbar, who gave the Eskimos the ball. We have 8 minutes and 40 seconds to go in the Grey Cup game. 41-10 for Edmonton.
And I believe that is a correct timing. I don't think we'll have overtime in this particular ball game.
No, we will not be seeing Pat, Mike, and Frank. They did the damage in the first half. Along with the Eskimos, it was all over really late in that second quarter. Wilkie's going to become a runner. Here he goes.
Look at this.
10-yard line.
He's going to score. Come on, Wilkie.
Get in, Wilkie. Now couldn't make it. 3-yard line. David Shaw, number 37, prevented Wilkinson from perhaps a final Grey Cup touchdown, but they've got a first down. This drive isn't over yet.
Well, Don, you have to realize one of two things. Either how tired that Hamilton defense is out there, because there's no pursuit here as Wilkie comes back against the grain. They've cut off the pass. He comes back here. There's just no pursuit by anybody. And either that Hamilton defense is awfully tired, which I really think they are.
Yes.
And they just really are not hitting anybody because Wilkie is not known for his running ability. He's just a great passer.
The 36-year-old fading back to throw to the end zone. It is incomplete, but a penalty marker is down. That marker in the Eskimo backfield. While Wozniacki, the defensive end, was being held up by somebody down there, it appeared. Referee Don Barker will likely indicate holding Edmonton.
Well, the question is, will Hamilton accept it?
That's it. They declined.
Edmonton, number 20, holding Klein.
Well, they figure they might as well give him the one shot from the 3-yard line than 2 from the 13. Rather different strategy.
Well, Tucci was the one, I think, Russ, number 23 right there.
Yeah, he's tackling him. He's not holding him. He's catching a little ride.
I don't really understand the percentage of that declined the penalty.
No.
But they have.
Well, they've made their decision. They're not going to get a chance to change it like some people do.
Second down, still a goal.
Comes again, going again it.
Into the far corner.
Oh, good
away.
defense.
Yep. Number 27, Leroy Paul. On Kelly with a good coverage for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. So it goes to third down.
Wilkie came out of there with one idea in mind, and that was to loft it up on the man-to-man defense with Leroy Paul covering Kelly, but Paul got back there and knocked it away. And now, what are we going to do? Looks like they're going to go for it. You can see the good position that Paul had, looking for the ball, reaching up and just tipping it away from Kelly. The ball was well thrown.
Well, they might accuse Huey Campbell of trying to rub it in here, but he knows he can move the ball from almost anywhere. They're going to try to take it in as Wilkie sets and cannot find a receiver. He's down. The Ticats will have the football at the 13-yard line. Tony Petruccio, the ex-Alouette and Saskatchewan Rough Rider, denies the Eskimo scoring bid. This is Grey Cup 80 from Toronto.
On that last play, Scott seems to want to come to the inside. Zambiazzi won't let him go inside cleanly, and Wilkie, looking for him coming over the middle, was now in trouble and couldn't get the ball away.
So the Cats bring on Tom Rosance, their backup quarterback, to relieve Marler as they go from the 9-yard line. First down. Trailing 41-10. 6 minutes and 20 seconds to play. It'll be Graves. Quick feet of his. Threads his way through. Out across the 10-yard line where Ed Jones brings him down and picks himself up about 3 yards on the play. And the Cats, despite what has happened to them today, I think of a good foundation for the 1981 season. This team came on very, very strong toward the end. I don't think many Eastern teams, the way the East played this year, could have handled Edmonton, if any of them could, on this day in Toronto, Grey Cup Day 1980. The second down and 7 for Hamilton. Rosance for Sincar. Can't find him. It's going to be third down 7 as the Eskimo defense is not giving up a thing. You would think they're ahead by a field goal instead of the 31-point margin they enjoy, Russ.
Well, and that Hamilton defense, after 2 successive plays, has to come on again and do the job. And as we mentioned before, when Wilkinson was in, there's just no way they have anything left because they've been on this field. And this is what Edmonton does. They wear you down. They may not do it early, but over that period of 60 minutes, they wear the defensive team down. They have done it this afternoon.
They wore a great team down last week in similar fashion to win the West. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Trietta and Butler are the punt return men. Runs it up in the shallow zone to the 40-yard line for the punt from the end zone by number 10, Bernie Ruard. He's handled all the scoring for the Cats today. Emilio Frietta is caught early and taken down. Flag is thrown. Could be a late hit on Hamilton around the 51-yard line. Jim Muller and Harold Woods were the tacklers for the Ticats. Here's Bill Stevenson again.
Here's Dave Marler, a very disillusioned young quarterback. Dave, it's been a tough afternoon.
Oh, it has. You know, we knew they were going to blitz us like that, and we caught them a few times, got a few passes over the middle, but they're a great team. Everybody knows that, and they played up to their caliber today, that's for sure.
Did you suspect anything like this going into the game?
Not at all. We knew they were going to try to strike early, and we wanted to try to hold them down early in the game and get some points ourselves, but we had our chances. We were down there twice or three times in the first half and came up with a couple of sacks and a couple of bad plays, so it really kind of stalemated ourselves down there when we had a chance to be right in the game.
How about that knee? When was it first hurt?
I heard the first time it went out on me was late first quarter, second quarter, and it just 2 or 3 times when I would set up and throw some balls, it would just go out, or a couple of times running. So it's just no use in putting any more pressure on it.
Thank you, Dave Marler. Don.
Okay, Bill, to add to Hamilton's frustration, Paul had perhaps what might have been a touchdown on the interception that he made the catch, but juggled the ball and dropped it. The ball at the 36-yard line due to unnecessary roughness on the previous play called against John Priestner of the Hamilton Ticats. And here come the Eskimos on 2nd down and 10 now.
Little difference in the velocity that Wilkie's throwing that ball than when Warren Moon is in there with that gun of his.
Just a bit. Receivers are thankful, I think. 0 for 3, Wilkie right now. He hangs a completion on the board right there. The 23-yard line, another first down to Tommy Scott. His 10th catch of the day. And the outstanding players of this game have been voted upon by a panel of 9 Football Reporters of Canada members. And they are, for the Edmonton Eskimos, of course, all the way. The offensive player of the game, Warren Moon. The Labatt Award is the outstanding offensive player of this Grey Cup game, and deservedly so. The defensive player of the game, of course, Warren gets that card. Along with the award, we'll tell you about defense in a moment. Here's Wilkinson, unable to get it away. He was shut down by Ramey, and then Lou Claire came in to finish him off at the 30-yard line. We have a double winner, Dale Potter, outstanding defensive player of the 80 Grey Cup game, and he has had a good effort this afternoon. And he's also the winner of the Canadian Player of the Game. So Potter will have 2 awards and Warren Moon 1. CPR award also going to Potter, as the Eskimos are taking all kinds of hardware and prizes home to the capital of Alberta.
Well, when you're up 41-10, you have to anticipate they're all going one way, because offensively Hamilton, after the early spurt, have done nothing, and defensively they're just too tired out there to really perform.
2nd and 18, Wilkie for Buggs, can't quite get him. Leroy Paul was covering for Hamilton as Wilkie was taken down hard as the pass got underway.
Well, a good call by Wilkie with Buggs in isolation going down here, running what we call a post pattern, just turning it to the inside, but it was a blitz situation on Hamilton's defense, so he's got one-on-one man-to-man coverage, but Paul, who's come on late in this ball game, was in good position to knock that ball down or possibly intercept it.
CBC personality John Allen Cameron's recovering in hospital. I don't think that John Allen's in much pain as the Cats and his supporters are right now. We wish him well. 3rd down, and with this kind of situation, why not go? That's exactly what the Eskimos are doing on 3rd down and about 18. Wilkie, though, will not make it again. He was cut down by Lyle Wozniacki, the defensive end, number 76. So again, the Cats will get the ball as the Eskimos lose it on downs with 3 minutes and 17 seconds of Grey Cup action remaining here.
Well, as Wilkie comes off with, as you say, just over 3 minutes remaining, you have to see how rusty he is getting a little bit without having too much playing time over the latter part of the season in the playoff games. But it's kind of nice to see him on that field again.
The last 2 years, I've asked you every year, is this the last season for Tom Wilkinson? What's your answer now?
I think it might be.
Might be this time. Grand Prairie, north of Edmonton. Great Eskimo supporters. They're here. Rosance is still the quarterback. He is too far for Leif Patterson, with an umbrella of Eskimo defenders around him, not being able to catch up with the ball. Warren Moon, hearing the announcement we made to you a little while ago about his selection as the outstanding offensive player of the game, and then they told about Dale Potter, and Potter fell down when he heard it.
Well, he almost fainted out there when he announced him a double winner. Players had to go over and help him up.
That's the situation here. Late in the Grey Cup game with 2 minutes and 39 seconds to make it absolutely official. It has been a reality for almost the entire second half. And over the head of John Holland goes that pass from Rosance. So Hamilton's going to be 3rd down and 10. As we tick down the final seconds of this 1980 CFL season, dominated by the CFL West, we want to thank Art Darch, our spotter, John Pickett, and Doug Kelcher, our statisticians, for a fine job on television coverage this year. And there's a message for Tom McKee right there.
They don't say which jail.
He'll find it. Well, the Cats have to go, too. There's really no point in punting now. They got to have some measure of pride they want to retain and display, but Rosats will not get a chance to exhibit that as the Eskimos overpower them with James Parker spilling in all over the Hamilton backup quarterback. It's been a strange last 5 minutes, but it's been a strange second half for us. But if they're playing 3-down football all the way, both ways.
Well, both teams are doing that, and I'll tell you, it's all been in one end. We haven't had to change our position here in the booth at all. You don't have to put your head in the swivel because it's all down at the one end of the field.
Getting a crick in my neck from looking right for the entire quarter. Well, here's somebody else in trouble. Now wants his mother. Well, we've lost Bob. I guess Bob's in jail.
A lot of those hats around this.
They put him in jail for wearing a hat like that in public, I think. Wilkie to Santucci as some of the Eskimos who did not figure too prominently so far offensively get their chance now. Lau Wozniacki makes the tackle. As the seconds tick down to 2:22. It's been a giant headache for Hamilton. And no question that the West plays it best to the CFL, and that has been exhibited here today in the culmination of the 80 season. Tom Wilkinson, the veteran, scrambling. Got a 20-yard run off earlier. They limit this one to about 6 or 7. Luke Flair made the tackle. Number 39, ex-Saskatchewan Rough Rider. So it's got to be 3rd down and 4 from the 17-yard line of Hamilton now. 2:03 remaining. A regular season matchup with a much different Hamilton team, I might add, in fairness to the Cats. The Eskimos blew them out in Edmonton 53-18, and they have almost done as bad a job on them today at 41-10. A chance to get additional points right here in the dying minutes. Fans are on the field being chased by police. The pass of the end zone is complete. That is Tommy Scott. That is a record 3rd reception. Grey Cup record for Tommy Scott, his 3rd touchdown catch of this Grey Cup game. And ties the most touchdowns by anybody in a single game at 3, but as a receiver, that record is his.
Well, Wilkie not throwing the ball with real authority, sort of a semi-sprint out to the right, but they like to throw back against the grain. Warren Moon, with the great arm he has, can do it. Scott that time just getting down in front of Harold Woods, number 6, and making the reception for his 3rd touchdown.
It is 47-10 with the point after coming up from Dave Cutler with 1 minute and 40 seconds remaining. He pumps it through. The police are converging on a spectator at the other end of the field. They'll have him out of there in a few minutes. And they have him down for tackle right there. Here's Scott on the 3rd touchdown reception.
On isolation, Wilkie's rolling to the right, and Scott's trying to fake, though, that he's not going too far. Harold Woods playing just off a little bit into the end zone. Once they get to that goal line, you got to come up and challenge them a little bit. Wilkie just dumped it in front of Scott and Harold Woods, and Scott scores his 3rd touchdown. And his friends that are up from San Francisco, as he said, I'm sure are enjoying this game. And without Warren Moon having the sensational game he had, you had to look at Scott as a possible outstanding offensive player.
Yeah, the choices were multiple for the Eskimos, and I guess they went to the man who engineered the whole thing, Warren Moon.
Well, there's no question. He was the dominant figure out there. He controlled the offense. He did things so well, moved the ball himself, and ran for many yards when he had to, especially in that first half.
So we have 1 minute 40 left and a 48-10 Eskimo lead. All that talk about the number of points the Eskimos were favored by is history now. They didn't matter. They're ahead by 38 as they kick it off. The Tiger Cats, Obie Graves at the 20-yard line. And Graves getting a good return. Taken down by Dale Potter, as you've heard, named the outstanding defensive player and top Canadian player of the game at the 41-yard line. A 26-yard return by Obie Graves with 1:33 remaining. We hope our viewers in the United States on ESPN have enjoyed their season of football, and our viewers on CBC across the country. This game today, of course, did not work out for the best as a classic Grey Cup confrontation. I hope you've enjoyed the excitement of watching just a superb football club in the Edmonton Eskimos and the gameness of this Hamilton team, which is building and just starting perhaps a new dynasty in Tiger Town. Here's the pass way over the head of Leif Pettersson from Rosance. Again, an impossible coverage situation for him, as the Cats will be glad to get off this field.
Well, Rosance is 0 for 4, and he's trying to get that ball downfield against his own defense, and that makes it rather difficult. It's kind of nice to look at that Grey Cup. We took that home with us a few times. I just know how the Edmonton players feel now, and I know exactly how the Hamilton players feel because we lost it once to Saskatchewan in '66.
The times you took it, I don't recall you taking it quite this easily.
No, that's for sure. None of them were easy.
Interception. Holloman stepping in front of Sinkar, the Ticat receiver, to give the Eskimos another chance with the football with 1 minute and 4 seconds of playing time remaining. They may run on the balls because the Eskimos have done so much so well. They're keeping them all for souvenirs.
The thing that amazes you, here's a team that could be sitting back defensively, giving the short passes, but they're not. They're playing them right up nose on nose. And when Rosance is trying to complete those passes, the Edmonton players are all over the Hamilton players. And you have to realize what a great football club it is that is taking their 3rd Grey Cup back to Edmonton.
From the 47-yard line comes the first down play. Wilkie handing to Angelo Santucci. He, by the way, another ex-Tiger Cat, getting inside the 45-yard line to get about 4 or 5 out of that, with exactly 1 minute remaining in the Grey Cup game. James Ramey and Lyle Wozniacki, the Hamilton tacklers.
You have that feeling that this Hamilton defense, as we've said before, is going to be a tired group of football players when they walk off this field this afternoon.
Down to 50 seconds now as Wilkie steps in for the second down play. Santucci will not have the first down. He's inside the 40-yard line. This score is a little bit reminiscent of the margin of the Eskimos' 3rd Grey Cup victory in the 1950s. The year was 1956. They played Montreal 3 years ago, beaten them closely in 54, 26-25, 34-19 the next year in Vancouver's Empire Stadium, and then 50-27 was the score for the Eskimos to cap your 3rd Grey Cup, and they're capping a run of 3 in a row right here over the Hamilton Tiger Cats this afternoon. Here's Neil Lumsden, and he spills inside the 35-yard line for the first down with 22 seconds remaining, and fans will be pouring onto the field here. They've got horses trying to keep them off. I shouldn't say fans. People that do this, I think, are, well, rather idiotic.
Yeah.
Fans stay put.
Well, there are a few of them coming over that barrier, and unfortunately they can't win out here in terms of the security because the fans get behind the people who are really making fools of themselves.
And to the credit of our director, Larry Brown, producers Bob Moyer and Cease Brown, we just won't bother showing it to you because that's what these guys want.
Well, I can remember we were playing in a game once, and one of the football players just decided to deck one of them, and then it stopped it happening.
So we have 22 seconds to get out of the way here. And they will let the 2 teams complete their duties here this afternoon. Been a long day at Exhibition Stadium.
Well, and the one thing that has been great here this afternoon, Don, has been the weather. There was a lot of talk about rain coming in about noon hour and high winds, and it's just been one of those great afternoons for late November to play a football game.
Temperature up nudging the 10 degrees Celsius mark at mid-afternoon, 50 Fahrenheit. No complaints about that whatsoever as Wilkie hands to Neil Lumsden on first down. He refuses to give up until he gets inside the 30-yard line. He's hit down by Kyle Cronell, the former Eskimo and Montreal Alouette. With 4 seconds left and one more play should do it. And I think it's going to be difficult to do because there are all kinds of spectators pouring out now. This could be it. The officials may be forced just to blow it down and complete the game here. Don Barker.
Well, Don Barker has to make a decision now, and I think
he's going to do it
right now, and I think that's a good idea.
You bet. Who needs it? There's the gun. Those folks can run around now for the next 2 hours and not bother anybody, but the Grey Cup of 1980 is Edmonton's. As they put it away late in the second quarter by increasing a very slender 4-point lead and just blowing the Cats out the back door in the second half, winning it 48-10, the Edmonton Eskimos' third consecutive Grey Cup championship. And I'll tell you, from what we've seen today, they're going to be tough to beat in 81 when the fourth attempt may come around for them.
Well, Don, you have to look at the way they built this football club, and in that important position at quarterback, they've got Warren Moon, who they brought along in 3 consecutive Grey Cup games. The first one 2 years ago, he played a few plays. Last year, he played a complete half. This year, he engineered the win with some spectacular passing and running.
You saw Dale Potter, the double winner, as outstanding defensive player of the game, and Canadian Player League. Warren Moon, the outstanding player. We'll be hearing from those two and other Eskimo players in that happy locker room. There's Potter coming in now. When Don Whitman and Bill Stevenson get situated down there to bring some of the reactions of the victorious Edmonton Eskimos, the Grey Cup champions of 1980. Not really a surprise the Eskimos won. I think the extent of their win did surprise many who thought somehow, despite all the build-up of the Eskimo power, the Cats could keep it a little closer than they did. There's the commissioner, Jake Gador, with Dan Cutley now coming in. The co-captains of the Eskimos, Bob Howes, number 53, Tom Wilkinson, to accept the Grey Cup. Here comes David Boone over the top. He'll join the party. The Honorable Gerald Regan is there with the commissioner, and the Grey Cup belongs to Edmonton.
I tell you, there isn't much of a presentation. When you get there as a winning player, you just want to take it and go back to the dressing room with it.
Give me the cup, I want to go home.
That's right.
And they will be, I'm sure, to a tumultuous welcome from their appreciative fans in Edmonton when the Eskimos fly home with their third Grey Cup. Very high bye in there. Nice to see Wilkie with a chance to play. As you suggested, Russ, this could have been his final game today, although with Wilkie, he hangs in there year after year. Almost scored a touchdown at that.
That's right, but he did throw that touchdown pass, that last one to Tom Scott, his third of the game. But I think that the one thing that has to wear on you, I know as having played and been a veteran quarterback, is when you're not starting football games, it does start to wear on you. And Wilkie's had such an outstanding career. I'm not sure that he wants to stay and be the second-string quarterback.
So it is now official. We'll have much more for you. Don't go away. Edmonton winning at 48-10, and Grey Cup 80 from Toronto returns in just a moment.
You're absolutely right, Don. It's presentation time here in the Eskimo locker room. Warren Moon chosen the Labatt's outstanding player of the game to make the presentation. Ed Bradley, the vice president for the Ontario region.
Thank you very much. Warren, we're very pleased to be able to present to you the trophy and a 1981 Pontiac Grand Prix as the outstanding offensive player of the game as selected by the Football Reporters of Canada. Congratulations on behalf of Labatt's. Terrific game.
Thank you very much. This trophy could have went to a lot of ball players on our team. You know, everybody had a great day offensively. I have to give credit to our offensive line for picking up the blitzes and giving me the time to hit the receivers. And it's just been a great team effort like that all year long. And I just want to thank the people from Labatt's for this trophy and just thank the Eskimo football team for, you know, one great football year.
Well, Warren, you had a tremendous season. You had a tremendous game. You wear the little insignia number one. Not number one. You're convinced that you are number one. I mean, you don't know anything but playing football the last week in November.
I'm telling you, I don't think I'd know what to do if I was home this time of year. And, you know, it's a great feeling this year more than any of the other years because, you know, I didn't feel I was as involved as I was this year. You know, it's been a great year for me, a great year for the ball club, and 3 in a row. You know, what can you say?
You can't say much more. You've had tremendous success since you came up to the Edmonton Eskimos. I think indicative of the depth of the Edmonton Eskimos, the fact that you lost 2 outstanding receivers back in October. You still were able to carry on, still keep on winning. And you lost Mike Wilson this afternoon. You also lost Bill Stevenson.
Yes, we did, but, you know, it just shows the character this team has, that we're able to come back from adversity. And with Brian Kelly, his addition today, he made a great addition to our offensive attack because he took pressure off our inside receivers and they weren't able to double cover as much. And it's just a whole team effort. You know, our defense played great. They came up with the big sack when we needed it. We came up with the big play to break their will when we needed it. And I'm just, you know, like I said, happy to be a part of it all.
Congratulations, Warren Moon, on being chosen the outstanding offensive player. We have Dale Potter over here, and we're going to ask Dale to come in now. He was chosen the outstanding defensive player, and Ed Bradley of Labatt's is also going to make the presentation.
Dale, again, on behalf of Labatt's, congratulations on having been selected as the defensive player of the game by the Football Reporters of Canada. Please accept this trophy with our best wishes, and as you know, the car goes with it.
Thank you very much, and I don't mind taking a car either.
Dale, when you were standing on the field and you heard the announcement with about 2.5 minutes left, the teammates came up and congratulated you. You've got another reward that's coming your way as well. It's a good thing there was a timeout in the field because you collapsed at that particular moment.
Yeah, someone had just told me about 10 or 15 seconds before, so I did know when I heard that. Although my legs did buckle.
Did you fellas feel you really had something to prove today? Everybody had made you overwhelming favorites, and you lived up to that reputation.
Well, not really. We know that we're a good football team, and we just wanted to go out there and just be steady, methodical, just like a machine, the way we've been in a lot of games this year. And whatever Hamilton did, we just intended to take it away. We expected a closer game than this, really.
Well, we're going to call in our Bill Stevenson, not your Bill Stevenson right now, because Bill has another presentation to make, as you've been a double winner this afternoon. So, Bill, move right in, and we'll let you make the other presentation.
I guess I have to use your mic. My mic is not working. All right. Ed Ogden, who is the Vice President of the Eastern Division of Canadian Pacific Airlines. Ed, you've got a very pleasant chore to perform now.
I have, Dale, and I want to tell you what a great pleasure it is to present you with the Canadian Pacific Dick Suderman Trophy for the most outstanding Canadian Player of the Year. It's a real privilege. And in addition to that, CPR wants to present you with a couple of tickets anywhere in our world, anywhere from Hong Kong to Athens that you choose to go. And a little walking around money, too.
Dale, they're giving it to you. Now, we want to know, where are you going to fly?
Well, I haven't had much time to think about it. Living in Alberta, I've never been to the tar sands, so I might just fly up there, I guess.
You don't fly there, do you, Ed?
No, not yet.
Well, Dale, you're loaded with everything here, and I'd just like to say congratulations. I know Ed would, too, and I know that you're going to have yourself a great off-season as a result.
Thank you very much, and I'd also just like to say hello to Ellerslie before I leave. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Got Larry Highbaugh, who had himself, as usual, a great game. Larry, despite the fact that you've won very big, you've proved you're without question the champions of Canadian football, the best there is, you have some unhappiness in you.
Yeah, I got a lot of unhappiness in me. You know, I'm very seldom saying it. I haven't said anything to the press in 2 or 3 years now. You got guys up in that booth like Terry Evershan, who said the Edmonton Eskimos secondary is the weakest secondary in the league, that Joe Holloman was the weak point of our team. How can we keep winning game in and game out with a weak secondary? Now, I believe Mr. Evershan will probably be looking for a job next year, and that way he don't have a chance to blast it all over national television that we are the weakest secondary. Even though we won 48-10, he'll probably still say we got a weak secondary. We won everything that there is possible to win. I wish I could play against Terry Evershan every game, because that, you know, it's a piece of cake.
All right, now tell me about the game you played. Now you got rid of all that stuff. Let's have some happiness.
That's why Evershan was on the Hamilton side, because he knew what we was going to do for him.
You make a good reporter, you know.
I love to be a reporter. I mean, anybody can do better than what that guy upstairs can.
All right, tell us about the game.
The game was rough. Hamilton deserved to be here. They played well. Our defensive line put a lot of pressure on the quarterback, and that made it a little easier for us to cover. They got good receivers. You know, it's just one of those things. They caught us on a hot day. We thought we might come out flat, but everybody put everything together, and we came out really well. I'd like to say hi to everybody in Sherwood Park, and I'll be back sometime on Monday, so come over to Soul City Sports and get some shoes.
And the head coach, Hugh Campbell. Hugh, congratulations once again. I'm wondering if you expected or even anticipated that you would blow Hamilton out the way you did this afternoon.
Not really, Bill. I knew that we were capable of it. We have a better football club than they do, but there was so much publicity in our faces all week that I was concerned about how our players would react, and the players kept telling me to not be so concerned, and that made me even more concerned. But they were right and I was wrong.
In other words, you were concerned that the publicity that you were such huge favorites was going to send you into this game a little flat then, that they wouldn't be up.
Sometimes it can have a tendency for everybody to feel like, well, I don't have to do it, somebody else will do it, but today it seemed like everybody wanted to do it themselves, and they did. They did a good job.
But didn't that change in the last few days before the Cup? In other words, the feeling?
Yeah, I think so. I think that that publicity started so early in the week that it went full circle, and by the last 2 or 3 days, Hamilton, you know, they started making some remarks, which are typical remarks. It wasn't anything against them or anything, but they started predicting certain things were going to happen and all that. And I think that then it went full circle and it came back to our players, and they went in the game on even terms the way it should be, and the team that played the best, I think, won.
Oh, no question about it. Hugh, can you pick out a Grey Cup, one of the three that you thought was the best or gave you the most satisfaction?
Bill, there's nothing like a first one. I have to be honest with you. I'm very pleased about this win, and it means a great deal to our football team because the 3 in a row, it's kind of like one series of things rather than individual Grey Cups. But the first Grey Cup for a coach, you know, you don't know if you can ever win a Grey Cup. And I know I felt the same way as a player. There's not any feeling like the first one, but this is pretty close.
After winning 3 in a row, do you think you'll get to the point where you'll say, I want to do something else now?
I just had a hug from my wife, and we promised that we would talk real soon about a holiday. And other than that, I give you my word, I haven't made any plans past today. I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow.
Hugh Campbell, congratulations, and I hope you and your wife certainly deserves it, a great holiday.
Yeah, she does deserve it, Bill.
All right.